Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Stewart pregame show presented to you by Big Brand Tire and Service. Big means go, a proud corporate sponsor of Moorpark College Athletics. Rise up at Big Brand Tire and Service. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to your coverage of Moorpark College football here on the Moorpark Raider live stream. My name is Ryan Ketchum, play-by-play commentator, joined alongside Nick Federico and Justin Borstis, your color commentator analyst this evening. We're currently here at Griffith Stadium, home of the Moorpark Raiders, where they're going to be playing host to the Saddleback College Gauchos. Saddleback College is coming off of their first win of the season against Pasadena City College, 50-21, and Moorpark College is coming off of their first victory of the season. It was a 24-19 comeback victory on the road at Glendale Community College. We're coming in, both teams maybe not starting exactly the way that they would like to, with a 1-2 overall record, but Moorpark having some things changing on the offensive end. What can you tell us about Moorpark's offense?
Well, I think that they're starting to finally come together. We saw last week against Glendale, Ethan Polster, who's got not nearly as many reps as Bryce Viole, finally started to get a lot of reps last week. He had 2 touchdowns and led Moorpark to their first victory of the year. Now, one thing I want to point out, which is kind of interesting, is though both of these teams do have their first victory now under their belt, they both won it in opposite situations. Moorpark has yet to win at home, and Saddleback has yet to win away. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, right?
That is going to be interesting. You mentioned Ethan Postler. He actually had 2 touchdowns against Glendale Community College, came out, and he was just fantastic off of the bench. Some other guys, you have Vinny Corso, Kyle Peterson had a receiving touchdown as well, including Curtis Collier, number 3, another receiver. But now, speaking about the defensive side, some big names on defense. Justin, what can you tell us about the defense?
Obviously, Drew Mathis, Ivory Jackson, they've anchored it. Throughout the year, the defense has been very strong. Chung has come up big. Also, in recent weeks, the defense is basically, as far as we know, the calling card of Moorpark this season. It's the offense that needs to gain an identity a little bit more. As far as we know, they are still using a 2 QB system. They have not chosen a quarterback to start this year.
According to all reports, as well as speaking to Coach Stewart during practices, he did allude to that he is going to be playing Ethan Polsler, but Bryce Viola is also going to see time on the field. We're not sure exactly who's going to be starting. He didn't tell us yet, but both quarterbacks, you should look to see number 8 and 16 out there for the Moorpark Raiders. Now on special teams, also great special teams with Vinny Corso, but then you have Hage Mokshian, possible sighting of Riley Garrett. What can you tell us about the special teams?
Well, I think last week, Hage Mokshian, who's been an outstanding kicker all year, last week kind of had a shaky week, 1 for 5, not too great, but how it's said in football is, if one area isn't converting, then the other part of the team's going to pick up the slack. And that's exactly what we saw in special teams. Late in the second quarter, right before going into halftime, Jalen Turner was able to block a field goal and take it back for 2 points, which gave Moorpark not only their first points of the game, but their first momentum shift to the game. So, like we've seen, a couple times this year, when one area is not answering, another area is able to step in, and that's one reason why Moorpark was able to catch their first victory, 24-19, on the road against Glendale.
Special teams is a key component of the game, not talked about a lot. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they can follow it up this year, or this game and the rest of this year, and be able to have good field position today during this game.
And that is right. Special teams is almost like offensive linemen. Unless they do something bad or really good at the end of the game, that's the only time they're going to be brought up. So showing some love to special teams. But then the Saddleback Gauchos, we did mention they're coming off of their first victory of the season. It was at home. They are 0-1 on the road. But some guys to watch out for, Robbie Patterson, the quarterback, number 8. What are you looking to see out of their offense?
Robbie Patterson, when we looked at his stats, this guy definitely knows how to tuck and run and throw the ball away when it's not needed. Only 1 interception through the first 3 games of the year. Those are, maybe some people want to hype that up, but that is, that's very great stats. So only 1 interception on the year. What we can tell just out of this guy by watching his previous games is that he's very comfortable when pressure's around and he knows when to get rid of the ball. He's not going to slam it into any tight pressure or force anything that's not there. So the Moorpark defense with people like you mentioned, Jalen Turner, Dylan Chong, Gianni D'Arienzo, pardon me, those guys, I want to see how that matchup plays out because only 1 interception he's thrown all year, and our defense's secondary has been able to come up with multiple this year. So I'm looking to see an interesting battle this week.
Also, watch out for Yasir Berry, who is the primary receiver for Saddleback. They will be looking to throw to him. He is the primary target. The second best receiver on that team, has, I believe, 58 yards receiving on the season. So look for him to be the primary target in the passing attack today.
And as you mentioned, Yasir Berry, he has 13 receptions, 222 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns, just annihilating anybody. And you mentioned 222 receiving yards, all the way to 58 for the second-place receiver. I mean, #1 option. Look for Berry all the time. He's number 84 on that team. And now on the defensive side of the football, they usually don't run too much. The leading rusher for Saddleback only has 101 rushing yards. But on the defensive side for Saddleback, they're kind of a complete team. Their lead defender has 21 tackles. Their second has 21. Their third has 19. Fourth has 18, so on and so forth. So when you go up against a team that is an actual team on defense, how does that kind of work for the offensive scheme? How could you try to be able to play make against these other guys?
I think, you have to be very balanced, and of course it's so cliche, but when a team is so spectacular as Saddleback is, you talk about 3 of their top leading tacklers have 19, 21, and 21 tackles. It shows that everybody on the ball is making a play defensively. Now, with that being said, of course you got to incorporate the run to build the pass, but try and find some sort of weakness that you can install and attack it constantly. Now, if I am Moorpark and I'm looking at the defensive perspective, I am definitely locking down their top receiver all game because he's their #1 go-to guy. Robbie Patterson has no one else to go to. It shows statistically at least. So if you're able to lock down the #1 receiver, then what you do is you create pressure and you create conflict within the offense. When only one guy is the reason why an entire offense thrives and you shut that down, then the Saddleback might fold. So if Moorpark is able to contain the pass game, especially because their run game isn't too effective, then I'm looking to see a lot of success out of the Moorpark Raider defense.
You talked about Saddleback's balanced defense. One thing I'm going to be looking for the Moorpark offense to be able to counteract with that is RPOs, run pass option. Try and trick the defense into thinking you're going one way and then go the other. Make sure you make some good reads today.
Exactly, and you got to have that containment, especially on those RPOs as well. So defensive ends are going to have to step up. But right now with Saddleback Gauchos, maybe not. I mean, usually, at least in previous years, they've been one of the best teams. So it's going to be great to be able to see them out here. They were ranked in the top 30 in the nation in the preseason. But right now, we're actually going to be having the national anthem. So once again, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to the Mike Stewart pregame show presented by Big Tire and Service. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your coverage of Moorpark College football here on the Moorpark Raider live stream. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to the pregame show. That was the Mike Stewart pregame show, presented to you by Big Tire and Service. And Big Brand Tire and Service is going to be the game sponsor, along with pregame, halftime, and postgame shows for this evening's events. Once again, we're here at Griffith Stadium, home of the Moorpark Raiders, for the game between the Moorpark Raiders and the Saddleback Gauchos. Both teams are coming in with a 1-2 overall record, where Saddleback has an 0-1 away record, but Moorpark has an 0-2 home record. So both teams trying to look for their first victory in one of those categories tonight, as we are going to see. Once again, this is Ryan Ketchum, play-by-play commentator, joined alongside Nick Federico and Justin Borsis, your color commentator analyst for you this evening. And right now, we're just seeing the coin toss. And coming in tonight, speaking about the pregame show, we have a few people to watch out for. Definitely watch out for the quarterback situation for the Moorpark Raiders. Anything that you guys can mention about the quarterback situation? Once again, Ethan Posler just going off in the last game against Glendale.
Yeah, I'm looking to see a great game. Mostly I'm looking to see Ethan for the most part. He came out with a spectacular game. Last week had 2 touchdowns and executed basically on every opportunity that he was given. He did throw 1 interception, so he wasn't perfect, but he was definitely near it. Bryce Viole, who's for the most part been the starter for the entire year until last week, didn't get nearly as many reps as I think he would have liked. But talking to Coach Mike Stewart and some of the players, it definitely looks to be that there's going to be a 2-quarterback system for the remaining future of this Moorpark Raiders season. So definitely look to see both of them come out and play a spectacular game tonight, and let's see what they can do.
Oh, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they're used as a 2 QB system. Will one be used as a pass QB only and the other be used as an option quarterback and maybe be able to get some quarterback runs in there? We'll see if Pulsler or Viole, I don't know who will do which part of that, but that's where I think they might be going heading into this game and for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's nicely said. I'm also I'm very excited to see what the Moorpark Raiders are going to do after their first win. I mean, there's always that speculation is, after you get your first win, is this just, a fluke, or are they, here to play? And I think the Moorpark Raiders have definitely showed, after the first 2 games getting snubbed a little bit, that they are coming out tonight, and after that first win last week, and they're ready to bring it again this week. And if they execute all those assignments that they took care of last week, then I expect nothing less than another win for the Moorpark Raiders tonight.
And both teams, they're looking to be able to continue their streak as well. This is kind of a situation that Moorpark ran into at the final parts of last season, winning the last 2 games. So right now, if Moorpark could be able to start a streak this early on in the season, it would just be huge, especially against a team that was top 30 ranked in the nation during preseason ranks. It's just incredible how great this team is. I mean, maybe not the best record, but they played against some great teams who are also in the top 30 in the nation, such as College of the Canyons and Ventura. So not bad losses that they went up against, but still having a 1-2 record, a little disappointing for Saddleback, but this team has definitely shown that they are great.
Well, it's interesting because you need to be able to beat those teams to build confidence and to build a resume to be able to recruit players as well.
And this is exactly where Moorpark can do that if they are able to beat Saddleback College right now. As you're seeing, Saddleback is going to be returning the opening kickoff of the game, so Moorpark will have the ball at the start of halftime.
I love seeing that early excitement right here. You see on the Moorpark sidelines, all these players hyped up. You couldn't tell that they were 1-2 by the way that they were bringing out that energy right now.
It's going to be recovered right around his own 3-yard line for the Gauchos. Trying to cut back to the near side. Urban is right there, and they stopped them at the 10. Great protection there by the Raiders.
We talked about the special teams unit coming up big again to start this game. Stopped them at their own 10. Great starting field position for the defense of Moorpark.
Yeah, nice statement made right off the bat right there. The Moorpark Raiders able to stay in their lanes and break down to stop for a minimal gain.
That was Jordan Buha. He returned the kick for Saddleback Gauchos, and right now they're setting up with 2 wide receivers set, spread out wide on both sides, almost stacked as well. That's going to be our first chance to be able to see Robbie Patterson, the quarterback.
Look for an early bubble right here when these stack formations come out.
It's going to be a fake handoff. Quarterback's going to throw it deep down the field, and it's going to be a first down for the Gauchos. Right away, that was number 6, the wide receiver, Brandon Reeves. And it actually looks like when he hit the ground, since the ball did come out, it's going to be incomplete pass instead.
I actually thought it got knocked away right there by the defender. He got a hand on it, was able to dislodge it.
Great job by Giovanni D'Arienzo coming up there. You see how some of these great players, they don't give up on the play. Right there, that looked like it was going to be about a 20-yard game right off the bat. But Giovanni's able to get his hand in there and knock it away for an incompletion. Great play.
Trips on the far side, man in motion, and it's sniffed out right there by the Raiders. Nick, you talked about this pregame excitement, just trying to show it, and right now they're coming out on defense.
That was a great job, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, look at the sideline. They're hyped up. They're ready to go. That's one thing that defines good teams from great teams, or teams that aren't so good right now, moving on to that next level of being good or great. Right there, Antoine Wind flying in there, making a great stop for a loss of 1.
That's now going to be setting up a 3rd down and long. It's going to be a 3rd down and 11. Ball placed at their own 9-yard line. Trips on the far side. Patterson looking into double coverage. It's going to be intercepted by the Raiders. Turnover at the start of the game.
Double covered right there, 2 defenders. He threw it where he shouldn't have. He had great protection, which means he had time to go through his progressions and look for reads, but instead he decided to force it where it should not have gone. Interception, great field position for this Moorpark offense to start.
Great job by DJ Turner right there. I mean, he practically threw him the ball, but great job being able to hold on to it and come down with it. We were talking about in the pregame how Robbie Patterson is not known for throwing into tight coverages or when his receivers aren't there, but right there, it seems that the Moorpark defense is rattling his head right there. He's forcing these throws that shouldn't be thrown, and Moorpark is playing spectacular in this beginning of the game.
As alluded to in the pregame show, Ethan Polster is going to be the starting quarterback for the Moorpark Raiders. We mentioned him and Bryce are both going to be taking reps according to Coach Stewart, but Polster is starting his first game of the season. A handoff to Creation on a 1st down and 10 from the 22-yard line, and Creation, he pushes it forward for about a 6-yard gain.
And Creation, definitely the power back when we look at our running backs between him and Archibald. Archibald, like we've said, you know, before, he's much more of a shifty and get to the outside kind of running back, but Jeremiah Creation, he hits those holes going full speed, and he's able to drive another 3 or 4 yards, which makes a huge difference in territory.
And it's important to use the offensive line in those scenarios to get those 3-4 extra yards as they push you forward.
Absolutely, it's a group effort.
It's actually going to be a 5-yard gain, so a 2nd down and 5 coming up from the 17-yard line for the Moorpark Raiders. A single back step with 2 receivers on each side. A quick throw to Creation, and Creation, he just kind of bobbled it a few times and dropped it.
I think his eyes were bigger than his hands right there. He kind of looked upfield before he was able to catch the ball. Always got to remember ball first and turn upfield. That was I like the play call right there. That was greatly designed. Pull away the safety, pull away the cornerback. He was wide open. Just got to make those catches.
And that might also be a deciding factor to be able to see who's going to get the most reps at the running back position. It could just be from the receiving side as well, as we're going to have the other running back, Brandon Archibald in. He motions out to the far side. Postler is going to look to Colliard. Colliard with the reception, goes down on the 3rd down and 5, only about a gain of 1, however.
I'm not sure if that pass was intended for the back that was going in the flat right there. It seemed like he had more open space to run, get that 1st down. Obviously, they went for the inside route instead.
Yeah, kind of a strange call in a 3rd and about 5 or 6 with the bubble route inside of the red zone, but Moorpark's able to come away with the 3 points. That interception won't be made for nothing.
One thing that Nick alluded to on a 4th down and 5, here comes a field goal attempt. It's going to be a 33-yard attempt. Riley Garrett is out there instead of Hage Mokshian. Once again, we said it might be a competition to be able to see who's out there, but Riley Garrett nailing the 33-yard field goal kick, bringing the Moorpark Raiders up with an early lead, 3-0.
And right now they're firing on all cylinders. Unable to come away with a touchdown, but definitely were able to score a couple of points to give that momentum and keep it on the sideline right there.
And that's what Moorpark has been missing to start this season. Early points on the board, early momentum, which is key in games like this.
Absolutely. And to kind of build off of what you're saying right there, Justin, it's also not only just getting that momentum, but obtaining and sustaining it. I mean, right there we saw they're able to come down in the first less than 3 minutes, put 3 points on the board. Now, can they keep this fire throughout the entire game and not lose it? That's the next question.
I wonder if it is because they do not trust Hage Mokshian that they put the other kicker in there to start this game.
Right, and we did talk about how last week he did only go 1 for 5. and that Riley Garrett has been hurt for the first couple weeks of the season. So with that being said, maybe that they feel that now that Garrett's back and healthy, and Mark Sheen coming off a rather difficult game, that they want to go back to Riley Garrett.
And Riley Garrett, last season he had 2 career longs. He said his previous career long was less than 45 yards, and he hit 2 more than 45 yards last season. And he's been hitting 50 plus this year as a little tight pooch kick. It was in between a few of the kick returners, going to go out right around the 30-yard line.
You know, and early on in the game, I hear Coach Mike Stewart very aggressive, kind of going for a near onside kick. Now, a pooch kick is a little different because it rolls back to about the 30 to 25. But if executed perfectly, it works perfectly because not only do you get the ball back, but you get it in great field position. But more often than not, it's hard to convert.
And flags would not be called on that scenario as well, correct?
Exactly. It's keeping it from going out of bounds and getting that ball.
So the ball is going to be placed at the 35-yard line, and that's where the Saddleback Gauchos will be able to start their second possession of the game. Patterson in the shotgun, looking far sideline. He kept his eyes on the receiver the whole time, and it's going to be incomplete. It was intended for number 15, Kalen Coates.
And Kalen Coates actually had the upper hand right there in Giovanni D'Arienzo, but the ball right there thrown by Patterson was just a little bit behind him.
And now on a 2nd down and 10, Patterson going for another throw. The pressure is coming from the Raiders, and he's going to be brought down with a sack. That's Ivory Jackson.
Ivory Jackson leads his team in sacks, and to nobody's surprise, the kid has been balling out the entire season. Now, of course, we're only into week 4, but from the first snap of that first game against Pierce, you could tell, pardon me, not Pierce, first game of the season, he came out and he had a spectacular game against Palomar.
That's actually that Palomar game. He came out and he showed why he's one of the best players on this team. Now with a 3rd down and 11 for the Gauchos. 2 receivers spread out on both sides, balanced. 7 in the box for Moorpark. Only a 4-man rush, almost able to get to him as Patterson has to go outside of the pocket, throws it deep down the field. Once again, that was intended for Coates, but is going to be incomplete.
And great job there. We didn't really see him make the play, but in a way he definitely did. Number 18 there, Peyton Shelton, pardon me, looks to be number 16. Coming off the field right now, it's hard to see right now, this angle here. We're going to go with Giovanni D'Arienzo coming off there. You know, playing spectacular so far at corner, but he was able to come up and stay by the sticks, forcing Patterson to throw the ball deep, not allowing him to run up for that first down. So that's a great job of containing and staying in his zone.
So now with the 4th down and 11 coming up, obvious punting situation for the Gauchos. Vinny Corso, number 12, back to receive. Receives it at his own 21-yard line. Takes it straight at the middle and puts it forward to the 35.
Good starting field position again for Moorpark. They look to capitalize on that first drive, but in this instance, they want to put 7 on the board, not 3.
Absolutely. You got to finish the drives, right? I like great job there by Vinny Corso, though, just making one cut and cutting upfield, you know, rather than trying to get 50 yards and only coming away with 5. You know, he makes one small step and he's able to give his team an extra 15 yards.
Colliard and Peterson on the far side, Corso and Boucher on the near side of your receivers with Archibald in the backfield. And Postler still the quarterback in. Gaucho stacking the box with 8 as Postler tosses it deep down the field. He has a wide open Colliard, but overthrows him.
Overthrew him, and I think Couliard might have been a little slow to start his route right there. It seemed like he was either getting tripped up by his own feet or the defender was nipping at his heels, and it led to the route being a little underdeveloped and he couldn't get his full sprint underway.
Right, and also, too, we did see Ethan Postler get hit there towards the end, so maybe a little bit of pressure was one reason why he wasn't able to hit Couliard in stride.
We're now with a 2nd down and 10 for the Raiders. Trips on the far side, on the right side of the formation. A handoff to Archibald. Archibald just trying to dive forward. Looks like it's going to be a loss of 1, though, to set up a 3rd and 11.
We come back to that last play right there. We see number 32 for the Saddleback Gauchos, Jaden DuGravido, coming off the edge right there. You see him coming off that edge blitz, knocking that hole before they're able to have it develop.
And now on the 3rd and 11, same formation with trips on the far side. He's going to do a little dump down pass. It should have been a screen to Archibald, but right there, great defense by the Gauchos with Segun Olubi.
Nice job there by Saddleback, stopping that drive before it was able ever to develop. Moorpark, like we talked about, they got to maintain this fire if they want to come away with the win. It is early in the game, of course, but You know, try and stay consistent. Don't get too many 3 and outs. We saw in the course of the last couple of games that their 3 and outs have been more numerous than they've not been. So they need to cut down, limit those, and give their defense time to rest.
It's a 4th down and 16, obvious punting situation. Gomez with a huge booming leg all the way down to the 20. That's where the Gauchos are going to receive it. Trying to cut back to the far side is going to be brought down prior to the 30-yard line. That's Rome and Osensi.
Great. Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
The Moorpark Raiders specialties have been playing outstanding to this point so far as well. I mean, we saw them cut down on that first kickoff of the game, and right there holding this punt to a minimum gain. So.
And it was a great tackle because if you saw upfield, he had plenty of room to run. So if that tackle was not made, he could have gone up the sideline for a good 10, 15 more yards.
Absolutely. It looks like they're playing with a little bit more fire than we've ever seen up to this point in the season, this early on in the game.
Just above 10 minutes left in the first quarter of action. 3-0 lead here for the Moorpark Raiders. A 1st down and 10 as Patterson tosses it over to the far side. That's number 81, the receiver, Bama Smith, with the reception.
And quick little out passes like that are always, you know, very conventional, but they can also be very successful if they run, you know, kind of often enough. It's just a quick little out pass is going to get you a nice chunk of yards.
And now on the 2nd down and short, a 2nd and 1 is going to be a handoff. The first handoff of the game results in a 1st down for the Gauchos.
And that's what you want as a team. You want short 2nd down, 3rd down yardage to be able to run the ball effectively and keep your options open as a team.
That was number 26, Jonathan Jefferson, with the carry. First down of the game for either team. Now setting up with a 1st and 10 at the 46, their own 46. The pressure is coming. Patterson has to step up in the pocket. He's going to be brought down for about a 3-yard gain on the play.
That was a great play by number 24, the Moorpark Raiders, flying up there. Antoine Wynn again. He's already made a couple plays early on today. Almost coming away with the sack, but instead still better than not giving up a 1st down. He's able to hold the quarterback to a small gain.
The pressure is seeming to be more effective today as it has been in games past.
And Antoine Wynn, he was actually the player of the game against Glendale. A huge outing as it's going to be a little swing pass to the running back. Able to get a 1st down, though. That's number 26. Once again, that's Jefferson on the reception.
Jefferson hurdled him right there. That's some athleticism you don't see out of every running back.
And so that's going to bring up a 1st down and 10, ball at the 40-yard line, already in enemy territory. And just a quick note, these are the first 2 1st downs of the game. No team has recorded a 1st down before the 3rd drive right now for the Gauchos, as it seems like they are going to be taking a timeout right now. And while we do have a timeout break, we're going to thank a few of our sponsors. We can't do without our sponsors, so thank you very much for supporting Moorpark College Athletics and the Moorpark Raider live stream. U.S. Army. Go on business trips with a company like no other, U.S. Army. Big Brand Tire and Service. At Big Brand Tire and Service, big means go. A proud corporate partner of Moorpark College Athletics. Rise up. Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo is recommitting to help all of our customers succeed financially. At Wells Fargo, they're established in 1852 and reestablished in 2018 at Wells Fargo. UCLA Health. They're a proud sponsor of Moorpark College Athletics with neighborhood offices in Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Thousand Oaks, and Westlake Village. The very best care is now closer to you at UCLA Health. It begins with you. Harley Simi Bowl is your home for Moorpark College Raider Athletics, offering bowling, billiards, arcade, and rock and roll pizza. Full-service sports lounge featuring Raiders happy hour every night from 6 to 10 p.m., except on Wednesdays. Cosmic College Night Bowling is Thursday. All you can bowl for $8 from 9 to midnight. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors, and we're back with a 1st down and 10. It's going to be a handoff to Jefferson. He's able to get about 5 yards on the carry, and actually, correction, that was number 43 there, one of the other running backs, Jaden Shiburl. And now that's setting up a 2nd down and 5 as we're back to the coverage right now. Just above 8 minutes left in the first quarter of action. Patterson's going to take it himself on the quarterback keeper, gets tripped up by his shoelaces, but still able to gain about 4 to set up a 3rd and 1.
That looked like a design run right there. I would have passed it to the flat if I were the quarterback, as there was plenty of open space to pick up more than just 3 or 4 yards.
And it looks like the pass game hasn't been too effective. They're going to the run game a lot more than I think they had prior than that. Of course, only one running back on this team has over 100 yards on the year.
Watch out for Yasir Berry on the near side. That's actually going to be a handoff. You're going to be able to get a first down and even more inside the 25 for the Gauchos.
Sorry about that, Ryan. Interestingly enough, I think the reason they're going for the run game is maybe because they figure Moorpark is game planning for Yasir. So they don't want to throw the ball as much, and maybe just some disguised runs can throw Moorpark off their game.
Of course, when we're talking about if you can shut down Barry, you shut down their entire passing game. So maybe they need to go to the run game more often.
1st and 10, motioning out to the near side, but throwing it far sideline. Contested as going to go incomplete.
Gianni D'Arienzo almost came away with that one right there. Just kind of knocked away from his hands, but great job stopping him from scoring the touchdown.
That looked like it was almost a destined pick. It looked overthrown. It looked like the receiver was underneath, which meant that the cornerback basically had open room to catch that ball.
It's now setting up a 2nd down and 10. Ball's going to be placed at the 23-yard line inside Raider territory. Moorpark almost jumping off sides off of the hard count as a single back set, 2 receivers on both sides of the field. Just above 7 minutes left in the first quarter. Still a 3-0 lead for the Raiders. Right now this drive has amounted to 3 first downs for the Gauchos. Hitting the receiver wide open, diving forward. He's going to be shy of the end zone though, down at the 1-yard line.
Now it's number 15 again, Caden Coates coming in right there. Nice post route, able to cut right across, right between the 2 safeties, and able to come away with a near touchdown. Kalen Coates.
So now it's going to be 1st down and goal, but once again, this drive is the only time that a team has gotten a first down, and they have 4 of them just marching down the field on this Raiders defense. 6:45 left in the first quarter for the 1st down and goal. Ball at the 1-yard line, knocking on the door of the end zone are the Gauchos.
And I think that's because of the interception on the previous drive, of course, due to those first downs coming on this drive.
So it's going to be a timeout by Saddleback College. While we do have another break in the action, we're going to thank a few more of our sponsors. Once again, we can't do without our sponsors, so thank you very much for helping us out here at the Moorpark College Raider live stream and Moorpark College Athletics. So we're going to thank a few of you right now. In-N-Out Burger. Freshness you can taste at In-N-Out Burger. Moorpark Center for Dentistry. Changing the way people feel about going to the dentist every single day. At Moorpark Center for Dentistry, they love supporting our community. DCH Lexus of Oxnard, proudly supporting education and Moorpark College football. Lexus, experience amazing. PennyMac, let us tackle all your mortgage needs at PennyMac, the lender you can call home. And International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Southern California light-powered for 125 years. IBEW Local 47 is a proud sponsor and proud supporter of the Moorpark College Raiders. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors here for the Moorpark College Athletics and Moorpark Raider live stream. And now we're back to the action once again. It's going to be a 1st and goal, ball at the 1-yard line for the Gauchos.
Look at him run it right up the middle with a dive.
Man in motion. It's going to be a handoff. As you said, straight up the middle. Touchdown for the Gauchos. That's Jerome Johnson.
They got very lucky. It seemed like a high snap, and able to handle it was Patterson, and running back is in to score.
I think what they were trying to do, and it worked, was they pulled away the outside linebacker for the Moorpark Raiders, and they added that little sweep to kind of pull him away, and then opened up a huge lane for number 21, Jerome Johnson, to walk into an easy touchdown.
And after that touchdown, the Gauchos now have a 6-3 lead with an unusual formation. They're just going back to the regular one. We do see a few teams doing that where they're trying to catch the defense off guard, but going for the PAT attempt to get even a bigger lead with 6:30 left in the first quarter. Harrison Avila with the kick. The kick is up, and it is good. Correction, that was actually Matthew Freem. He's the kicker there for the Gauchos, able to get it straight through the uprights. It's a 7-3 lead here with 6:30 left. The Gauchos ahead of the Raiders.
And that strange formation that you were talking about, Ryan, is actually called the swinging gate. The point of that is if the defense isn't prepared for that and they don't adjust to the formation the offense comes out in, they basically run a bubble pass with about 4 blockers. Now, if the defense does adjust like Moorpark was able to, they recognized it, then they just come right back to a regular PAT. So sometimes it's good to try and catch the defense off guard, but Moorpark was much more disciplined than that, and the Gauchos had to just kick a regular PAT.
We see that in the NFL a lot as well, and college. Some college teams do it, try and get the defense snapping.
So now Moorpark Raiders ready to return the kickoff. Vinny Corso on the near side. Will return this one of the stars of the special teams for the Moorpark Raiders. Down 7-3 right now at home. Deep kick is going to be recovered right around the 20-yard line, almost fumbled. Taking it back past the 30 and going to be brought down at around the 32-yard line. That's number 33 on the kick return, Dylan Chong.
Dylan Chong, I like the aggressiveness. Bobbled it, picked it up, and still able to, pick up 10 to 15 yards right there. So a lot of times teams will do that to try and, force the Moorpark defense or whatever kickoff return team to not gain yards. But right there, it worked out perfectly.
And a quick side note, Bryce Viole, number 8, is going to be the quarterback in for this drive for Moorpark. First 2 drives were Ethan Postler that ended in no first downs, 1 field goal, as he's able to hit his receiver on the far sideline to be able to get down to about the 35-yard line. That's Couliard on the reception.
And the competition continues, doesn't it? We've seen 2 drives for Ethan Polster and 1 drive for Bryce Viole. So looks like they're still not very positive about who they want to be their number 1 quarterback.
And that's the concern about scoring points.
And that could also be just trying to, find out which quarterback is best suited for their offense. That there's going to be penalty flags littered over the field with just under 6 minutes left in the first half. It's going to be snap infraction, so basically false start from the center. It's going to be bringing them back for a 2nd down and 12 now instead of a 2nd down and 7. As they're going to be placed at their own 30-yard line for the Moorpark Raiders. Same formation, balanced on both sides of the field with 2 receivers on each side. Drawn back to pass. Archibald is the running back in. Pass is thrown low, but only to a point where the receiver can get in. Couliard can't wrap his hands around it.
Viola's got to be careful making those throws right there. Not only is he double covered, it looks like, but also the way that Couliard came down on that hit, you can also get your wide receivers, injured in a place where they don't need to be taking that kind of hit. Now, of course, he was just trying to make a play. I understand that. But he also did have Creation wide open on that swing pass, so he's got to read through his progressions.
And Viole has consistently had trouble with those low throws throughout the year, which is why this 2 QB system has gone underway for Moorpark.
So now with the 3rd down and 12, trips on the near side on the left side of the formation with Viole in shotgun formation. Archibald is the back. Throwing it deep down the field on the middle. Alex Sardi, intended receiver, is going to go a few yards in front of him instead of a 4th and 12.
Great coverage by the Saddleback defense. About 5 guys covering 3 receivers, all sprinting full speed on those fade routes. So right there, we saw Viole just trying to make a play, but nowhere to go really with all those yellow hats around.
So it's probably going to be obvious punting situation with the 4th and 12. 5:20 left in the first quarter. Saddleback still ahead 7-3, and we still do not have a Moorpark Raider first down yet. Saddleback had 4 first downs on their previous drive. Another big booming punt all the way to the 30-yard line where it's going to be fair caught at the 32, and that's where the Gauchos are going to take over. As fair caught by number 10. That was Rome Innocenzi.
One of the bright spots, I think, when we talk about the special teams that we weren't able to cover in the pregame show, Ryan and Justin, is Steven Gomez. He boots the ball, doesn't he? I mean, the hang time on that punt every single time it comes off his foot not only makes such a booming kick, which when you just hear it, it's going to, at least go about 30 to 40 yards. But his kicks usually are going 50+, and that's one reason why he always gives the defense such a great field position.
Honestly, he might be the one player that isn't a question mark when it comes to position-wise on this team. He's the reliable punter.
Now on that 1st down and 10, a fake handoff and a fake handoff to the end around to the receiver. Great blocks by the Gauchos as he's able to get a first down just shy of midfield.
And great job by Patterson making something happen when there was nothing there. The secondary for the Moorpark Raiders did an excellent job of covering up all receivers. When Patterson had nowhere to go, he was able to squeeze through and get a first down.
And then there was the missed tackle fiasco, which is why.
And now on the 1st down and 10, a quick pass out to the far sideline, able to get another first down. So back-to-back first downs on 2 plays at the start of this drive for the Gauchos.
I was just going to finish off that point, which is why he was able to get 15, 20 yards on that run.
Kalen Coates was the wide receiver on the play.
Little miscommunication. They're going back to a no huddle, catching Moorpark off guard.
First and 10, now ball at the 35-yard line inside enemy territory. Patterson has nowhere to go, almost runs in his lineman. And now on the near side, passes it down the field. It's going to be a reception and another first down. That was number 84, Yasser Berry, and that was his first reception of the game.
And he did almost run into his lineman, number 77, Terrence Smith. And that could have been a very unfortunate ending to that particular play, but able to find Berry, his number 1 target, for the reception.
And a good thing if you're a Gaucho fan with that first down to Berry with his first reception of the game. Patterson, quarterback keeper, a few guys on Moorpark trying to bring him down, including Drew Mathis.
It looks like they're having a lot of success here, Patterson, with the run game, with the QB scramble that they just call the design QB sneak right there.
And now continually marching down the field, 3 first downs in this drive alone with under 4 minutes left in the first quarter. 7-3 lead for the Gauchos still. Trips on the far side is going to be a wide receiver screen. Only able to get about 2 yards on the game. That was number 81, the receiver on the play. That was Bama Smith.
Avery Jackson, he's so big, but he still has wheels, able to catch him from behind before he was able to break that for a touchdown. Great hustle by the D end.
Good speed off the edge for Moorpark's defense. One of their calling cards of their team.
And now, no doubt about it, that Smith, if he wasn't tackled by Jackson, he probably would have been at least a first down on the play, if not a touchdown, with the wide open field that was in front of him. But now it's going to set up a 3rd down and 3, a 3rd and short, ball inside the 10 at the 8-yard line, knocking on the door of the end zone right now.
It's like a false start.
Both lines moved, and it will be a false start, so Gauchos moved first on the flag. It's going to be backing them up 5 yards, so a 3rd and 8 now coming up for the Gauchos.
And it looks like the Gauchos are trying to use the wide side of the field to their advantage, kind of pulling away that second safety right there and allowing that trip side to be much more open, pulling them away.
And this changes the play call because you might have been able to sneak a run by, but with 8 yards to go, it's more likely there will be a pass coming up on this down for Saddleback.
So on the 3rd down and 8, ball being placed at the 13-yard line. Balance on both sides of the field with 2 wide receivers as Patterson is nowhere to go. And he's going to be sacked by the Raiders. Coming in there strong, that's Ivory Jackson once again.
Good bend but don't break mentality. Force a field goal. 4th down, they only get 3. It keeps a touchdown to tie the game in play here.
And here comes Matthew Freem once again. We were watching Saddleback prepping for this game, and he was kicking it from 50-plus yards and still getting pretty close. He hit the crossbars a few times, but now he's setting up for a 33-yard field goal attempt. The kick is up, and he has a leg because that thing went another 20 yards as it goes straight through the uprights. It is good. So now we have a 10-3 lead for the Gauchos with 2:07 left in the first quarter of play.
And that's a statement kick because when you say it goes 20 yards, it means you know he could hit from 50-plus if he's given the opportunity to do so.
Absolutely. Now, this Moorpark offense needs to strike back. Starting to lose a little bit of that fire they brought out early in this game. Now, in the first couple games, we saw them start out with the same exact fire they did today, but they lost it as the quarters progressed. So if Moorpark wants to win and stay in this game, they need to come back right now showing Saddleback that they're in this fight.
So now down 10-3, the Raiders will have a chance on their 4th possession of the game. First possession, no first downs, but a 33-yard field goal kick by Riley Garrett was good. On the second drive, a 3-and-out, they had a punt. And the third drive, another 3-and-out and had a punt. Nick, you alluded to the 3-and-outs in this season for the Raiders and how they have to make sure they try to get some first downs, and so far in this game, unable to do so. The kick's going to be recovered at their own 10-yard line. Having some blocking in front of him, past the 25, going to be brought down behind the 30-yard line for Michael Brown.
Yeah, Ryan, as you pointed out, or as we talked about in the pregame show, yeah, their 3rd down conversions were very low. Last week against Glendale, only 2 of 15. They were still able to come away with the victory, of course, but with low numbers like that going up against a team like Saddleback, they need to execute and get those numbers up if they want to have a successful game tonight.
And that goes back to the QB scenario we discussed. Not having a true identity could mean that your offense doesn't really know, I don't want to say who to trust, but who can guide them the best.
And as Bryce Viola, he is in at the quarterback once again. It seems like they're giving Postler 2 drives, then Viola 2 drives. We'll see how it goes as he hands it off to Creation. only able to get about a yard on the play, setting up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that's a good point, Justin. You know, of course you're not trying to say who they can and can't trust, but who they can build off of. You know, when you have 2 different quarterbacks in and you're in the week 4 now, it's hard to see who your offense can really build off of and lean to.
And now on the 2nd and 9, trips on the near side. Handoff to Creation, and right away, the Gauchos sniffed that one out. That was number 7 who was able to get a Sefo Melongi.
Well, part of the problem with that play was a high snap to begin with, which made it harder for the quarterback, I believe, who's in this series?
Bryce
Viole is in this series, to be able to handle that and give it to the running back, which means the play was already busted before it began.
Just above a minute left in the first quarter of action. A 10-3 lead here for the Gauchos over the Raiders. Trips on the left side of the formation on the near side. Viole having to scramble outside of the pocket on the far sideline. Throwing on the run to Collier. It is going to be over his head, incomplete, setting up a long 4th down and 12.
Sometimes it looks like, or not sometimes, pardon me, it looks like the Saddleback defense is just starting to click on all cylinders right now. They're able to figure out what Moorpark's going to do before they can even do it right there. Everybody covered. Bryce Viole had not enough time in the pocket, had to roll out and kind of throw it up, hoping that Collier would be able to come down with it.
Really nothing Viole could do right there. He basically put it in a spot where either his receiver could catch it or the defender could not.
The one thing that is great is when you have a guy like Steven Gomez, you can trust your defense a little bit more because you know he's going to boot it on their side of the field. There's no chance that he's going to have it on their side of the field unless it's blocked like that. I mean, they sent almost their whole entire team in the backfield. When that happens, it's definitely going to be blocked, as it's going to be recovered at the 16-yard line for Saddleback.
And basically all of their defenders came in and nobody was blocked. They left pretty much almost that entire special teams unit unblocked to the punter, which basically meant you were going to get that thing blocked unless you really got it off quick.
So exactly, if you don't have 11 guys running at Steven Gomez, he can let that thing fly a good 50-plus yards, which gives your defense a little bit more time. But right now, Saddleback is lined up with great field position. It's going to be a 1st down and 10. Ball at the 16-yard line inside the red zone. Two receivers on the near side, one on the far sideline. A fullback in right now is going to be a handoff straight at the middle, able to get past the 10-yard line. That's number 16, Jake Browning.
And actually on that one, Ryan, it was Algene Fisher, number 46, the fullback. But right now it seems that no matter who they put in, they're able to have success, the Saddleback offense.
So yes, Algene Fisher, as you mentioned, in the backfield. Going to be a handoff to him once again, down by the 5-yard line off of the 2nd down and 3. And he's actually going to be marked down at the 5, so it's going to be a 1st down and goal from the 5-yard line for the Gauchos.
And it'll be interesting to see if Moorpark's defense can again use that bend, don't break mentality, force another field goal, and really the Moorpark offense and the rest of this Moorpark team should be thanking them up and down for keeping them in this game.
So while we do have the end of the first quarter of action, it's a 10-3 lead here for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders. While we do have another break in action, we're going to thank a few more of the sponsors. We can't do it without you, so thank you very much for sponsoring Moorpark College Athletics and the Moorpark Raider live stream. DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. Corner Bakery Cafe, located in the Simi Town Center, proud to support Moorpark College football. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, catering, Corner Bakery Cafe. Mercedes-Benz of Thousand Oaks. As a member of the Silver Star Automotive Group, Mercedes-Benz of Thousand Oaks has proudly served Moorpark and the surrounding areas since 1982. Nationwide, our hearts belong to the Raiders. Putting the needs of local communities first isn't just the key to our success, it's at the heart of everything we do. Let's talk today with Bill Saunders. Go Raiders! And Matera Design Consultant for all of your design, layout, and production needs. Contact Vince Matera at vmatera@earthling.net. Matera Design Consultant. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors. Now we're back to the action at the start of the second quarter. 10-3 lead here for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders, set up with a first down and goal at the 5-yard line. Quarterback keeper for Patterson, and Patterson just hurdles his way in for the touchdown, Gauchos.
Unimpeded right there. Basically, all the defenders went low. He went high into the end zone, hurling defenders. Touchdown, Gauchos.
And Patterson, when we looked at the statistics, wasn't really labeled as a dual threat. Much more of a passing quarterback, but tonight he's been running all over the Moorpark defense. They definitely need to figure out how they can keep him inside the pocket and force him to throw.
So off of that 5-yard touchdown run for the Gauchos from Patterson, there's a 16-3 lead here for Saddleback. The PAT is up, and it is straight through the uprights. It's good. We have a 17-3 lead for the Gauchos over the Raiders at the start of the second quarter of action here at Griffith Stadium.
And Ryan, you just had that ad by Nationwide saying that it's at the heart of everything they do. Well, the Raiders need their offense to be at the heart of everything they do right now because they are down by a, at this point, somewhat sizable margin. It needs to be their heart, their soul, their drive, their possession, all of the above to be able to get back into this game. We've talked about it all season about their offensive struggles. Let's see if they put Polster back in the game or if they keep it with Viole going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the first question is who can get the first down for this Moorpark Raider offense. They're still in need of finding one right now. The offense is not clicking, and this year it has not been clicking at all. The defense has been keeping them in this game. So, in multiple of the games that they've been playing. So, they need to figure that out.
So now Moorpark Raiders going to get the ball back. No first downs in this game. 3 3-and-outs, and the first possession was a 33-yard field goal kick by Riley Garrett as Brown's going to recover it at his 5. Surrounded by a bunch of Gauchos, he's going to be brought down inside of 15. Seems like they're going to mark him right around the 15-yard line, however.
And I'm surprised he almost didn't let it go out of bounds right there. Would have got a little bit better field position.
Well, it was a gamble to see if it would go into the end zone or out of bounds. I think it was at an angle where it could have gone either way. So he may have thought he was better off catching it than letting it go by.
So now the Moorpark Raiders, number 16, Ethan Postler is back in at the quarterback position. Jeremiah Creation is in the backfield. 4 wide receivers, 2 on both sides of the field, balanced right now, as they had to reset the play clock. Postler's going to hand it off to Creation on the first down and 10. Able to try to hurdle a defender on the first down and 10 from the 16-yard line. Able to get about a gain of 1 on the play.
Flag. I thought I saw a little extra contact. I don't know if that's an unsportsmanlike on Saddleback or Moorpark, but there was some chippiness going on at the end of that play.
Yep, they just threw that flag right there. Prior to the flag, it would have been a 2nd down and 9 here for the Raiders. It's going to be against the Gauchos, however, but it's going to be a double penalty. They're going to be offsetting. It was a penalty against the Raiders and the Gauchos, so now it's going to just be a 2nd down for Moorpark. And they're actually going to say he did not gain a yard, so a 2nd down and 10 is coming up. So basically erase those flags that were thrown. It basically just offset each other, so now we have a 2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line, their own 16 for the Raiders. It's going to be a handoff to Creation, and Creation is going to be dropped down almost immediately. Looks to be a loss of 1 at the 15-yard line.
Now, of course, you need to set up the pass by setting up the run, but at this point, I feel like the Moorpark Raiders should start going to a more pass-flowing offense. I mean, the run game has not had any success tonight to this point, nor I guess has the pass game, but it looks like they might have a little bit more success with some athletes like Vinny Corso, Curtis Couillard, Will Boucher out there, Kyle Peterson.
Postler in the shotgun formation on the 3rd down. They're going to actually say he got back to line of scrimmage on the 3rd and 10. Pass is thrown to the near sideline, but it's going to be incomplete. It was intended for number 3, Curtis Couillard.
And I'm interested to see, you talked about the pass game. I want to see some short throws. We don't necessarily need to go, or the Moorpark offense doesn't necessarily need to go deep to score some points right now. They need to get a rhythm, a flow going. The run game is certainly not working. They're trying to go up the middle, but I think they may want to bounce it outside, maybe go laterally up the field.
So now it's going to be obvious punting situation with the 4th down and 10. No blocking of the punt here, and Gomez just booms this one. Down inside the 45-yard line, trying to make some moves, still up on his feet. That's number 10 right there of the Saddleback Gauchos. Once again, that's Innocenzi. He's going to be knocked out of bounds right around the 40-yard line.
And go ahead.
Innocenzi right there. So kind of shoves off a block, moving his legs. That's a key thing in football. You got to keep moving your legs. Keep moving your legs. You'll break these tackles. You'll pick up a couple extra yards. Right there, we see him get an extra 10 yards by just breaking one tackle.
And because of the tough field position Moorpark's offense was in, it leads to dividends on the other end for Saddleback because it gives them plus territory now as they start yet another drive up 17-3 already.
Yeah, so now coming up with a first down and 10, ball at the 42-yard line inside enemy territory with just under 13.5 minutes left in the first quarter. A 17-3 lead on the swing pass outside of the running back on the far sideline. Able to get about a gain of 6 on the play as helmets are flying on the field.
Dylan Chong coming in there trying to sideswipe his leg. Didn't wrap up all the way, loses his helmet. Now he's going to have to come out for a play.
Johnson was there on the reception. Jerome Johnson, number 21, the running back. That's going to set up a second down and 5 right now. Ball at the 37, Patterson, nowhere to go, just going to check it down to his running back. Probably the best pass that he could have had as Johnson's able to get about a gain of 3.
Patterson has an awful lot of time right now in the pocket. One reason why they've been able to keep these drives alive and pick up these chunks of yards on these plays that look to be busted. The defensive line's got to get to him a little bit quicker if they want to stop that success.
And we talked about those checkdowns. That's part of the reason he's able to check down is because they are not rushing the quarterback, at least on this series. We've seen it in series past, of course, with a few sacks coming in. But this series he's been able to get a little more protection leading to checkdowns.
Third down and 1 coming up. Pretty much a running situation as they are going to hand it off straight at the middle with the burst of speed, able to get a first down to the 25.
Jonathan Jefferson again picking up another crucial third down for the Gauchos right here. Moorpark doesn't seem to have an answer yet on how to control that. Maybe going into halftime they'll be able to readjust and figure out what kind of game plan they can put in.
First of all, Moorpark should be given time to breathe.
And now cutting back to the near side, almost in danger, but now almost towards the end zone. That's number 38 of the Gauchos, just shedding these tackles like crazy. That's Jordan Bua.
It looked like that play was busted from the beginning, and to steal a phrase from the great Stuart Scott, Booyah, or Bua in this case, decided to improvise a little bit and cut back to the other side, lateral right there from one end to the other.
And now there's going to be setting up a first down and goal. Ball at the 8-yard line, knocking on the door of the end zone. Quick slant route is going to be completed to Barry for the touchdown, Gauchos.
And there's our number 1 wide receiver. We hadn't seen him too much tonight before that, but he shows up right there in the end zone. I like the play call right there, a little crossing route to cause confusion with the secondary, and Barry's able to come across clean on that slant.
And we talked about him being the number 1 wide receiver. You always have to account for him, even up if they're up 17-3. They will still look to target him throughout this game.
Yes, sir. Not too many balls thrown his way, but when he's able to get a reception, he knows what to do with it. Exactly right there, getting that touchdown. 23-3. Now with the PAT up and good, it's a 24-3 lead here for the Gauchos early on, with still 11.5 minutes left in the first half, second quarter of action against the Moorpark Raiders.
I honestly don't know what Moorpark should do right now, because you have 2 quarterbacks who have been, for the most part, inaccurate today. And the only points they were able to get on the board was off a turnover. And we talked about the first downs, which haven't really come their way this game. So it may be up to the defense to score points at this rate.
Yeah, definitely need to find some sort of success and some sort of key that they can build off of right here. Have not had any success in any area to this point in the game for the Moorpark offense.
So far, Moorpark Raiders offense, just give you a little bit summary. First drive of the game, no first downs, good field position. Riley Garrett's able to knock down a 33-yard field goal. The next 4 drives, 2nd through 5th drives of the game, no first downs, 3 and outs, and a punt. So not a good sign right now for Moorpark's offense. Can pick it up at any time, however. Vinny Corso returning it on the far sideline, getting some blocking in front of him. There are penalty flags thrown on the field, but a great return. It might have been a great return because it looks like it's going to be called back against the Raiders, but still Vinny Corso showing why he's elusive. Illegal
block in the back possibly. Usually that's what happens when you see great returns like these and flags thrown. It does not go to the defending unit. It goes to the receiving unit in most cases.
Vinny Corso, one of those bright spots on any position that they put him in.
It's going to be holding against the return team, so that is going to be backing them up. And it does happen from the spot of the foul, so they're going to be marking down the Moorpark Raiders at about the 24-yard line, their own 24. And Ethan Postler, number 16, is the quarterback in for the Raiders during their 6th drive of this game. Postler dropping back to pass, looking for the far side, able to get Kyle Peterson on the crossing route. Good block there by Boucher, getting the first down.
And that's what we discussed right there. Short, intermediate throws, giving open space, room to run. If you don't trust these quarterbacks to throw it deep, give your receivers a chance to help them out.
Of course, and a crossing route is a great job, or a great way, to get those first downs.
And it is going to be a first down. We mentioned this is the first down of the game for the Raiders. Another quick pass to Kyle Peterson, crossing route, getting a first down. Why break it why fix it if it's not broken?
Exactly, right back to it. Once you see a little bit of success, like we were talking about, just build off it. Now, of course, find a little bit of variety within your offensive playbook. But right there, Moorpark's having a great amount of success with that crossing route coming from Peterson.
Just keep throwing the ball.
First and 10 now, ball at the 49-yard line, inside enemy territory, lobbing it up. It looked like Boucher was unable to actually run his full route there as Postler had a lot of pressure on him.
A little bit of miscommunication. You see the two talking right now. I think that Will Boucher was going to look like maybe a comeback route or a slant or a hitch. And Postler thought he was going deep right there, kind of airing it out with nobody in the vicinity.
Well, and you're able to pressure him within 5 yards, so that was not an issue right there.
Trips on the near side, on the right side of the formation. High snap, Archibald gets the handoff and able to go forward for about a 6-yard gain. And right now the Raiders offense, 2 first downs, the first 2 first downs of the game for the Raiders on this drive, and they're continually pushing forward.
And one nice thing that I guess Postler has a benefit over Viola is his height. He's got a couple extra inches on him. Right there, that was a very high snap. He was able to catch it, come down with it, and still hand it off to Archibald for a nice gain of about 7 yards.
3rd down and 4. Ball is going to be placed at the 43-yard line. Pressure is coming for Postler. Hits Peterson once again. Is not going to be for a big gain, however, so it will set up a 4th down. It's going to be a 4th down and 2 for Moorpark.
I would go for it right now. You're down by a very sizable margin. You're in a place in the field where it's borderline punt, borderline possible field goal, borderline. Go for it. I'd go for it. Take a gamble. Try it and ignite your offense and get some points on the board.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely, Justin. You got to go for it, especially with the field position on the 42-yard line. Just a little bit out of reach for a field goal. Almost no point to punt the ball. The offense has been doing really spectacular this drive. Just go with it.
There's only 5 seconds left on the play clock, so Moorpark Raiders will be taking the timeout. Wouldn't be surprised if they set up with the offensive formation once again. But while we do have another break in the action, we're going to thank a few more of our sponsors. We can't do without you, so thank you very much for supporting Moorpark College Athletics and here at the Moorpark Raider live stream. Los Robles Health System, 50 years of compassionate care. For more information, please call 877-888-5746 or visit losrobleshospital.com. The Moorpark Country Club. Make a trip to Moorpark Country Club while you're here. Be sure to try our Sunday brunch at the Moorpark Country Club. Jersey Mike Subs. Since 1956, supporting the community that supports us. Moorpark College Raider Athletics. Jersey Mike Subs, a sub above. Visit them at 1197 East Los Angeles Avenue in Simi Valley and tell Rich Vitolo hi. And Jan's Marketplace. Cheers to a successful season. Proudly supporting Moorpark College Athletics. Visit us on Facebook or at jansmarketplace.net for upcoming events and money-saving offers. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors. We have a 4th and 2. Gauchos almost jumping off sides with the 4th and 2 as the Raiders are going for it.
Looks like they're trying to iron out the play. He may be audibling or just talking to his line, trying to get it sorted out.
Trips on the near side on the right side of the formation. Man in motion is Archibald. Hits him on a swing route. The blocking's not there, but able to use his elusiveness. Archibald is in the open past the 25. Big first down for the Raiders.
Missed tackle, and as you said, the elusiveness, the playmaking ability of number 25, Archibald right there, was able to get the first down, a huge first down in this game.
Keeps the drive alive and keeps momentum alive. Great job right there. The blocking scheme kind of failed, but Archibald's so quick. He's able to break a tackle just outside of the grasp of the Saddleback defender.
First down and 10, ball at the 23-yard line. Almost inside the red zone for the Raiders with Postler. Going to hand it off to Archibald. Off the tackle, trying to get room on the outside, but it's going to be brought down for a loss of yards.
Tried to get the edge, but it was pretty much contained right there. No room to run. It looked like it was a loss of yardage.
And as we're talking about Archibald, much more of a sideline runner than Jeremiah Creation. Creation's more of a one cut and cut up field. Archibald, part of me, likes to get to the outside before he cuts it upfield.
And now it's going to set up a second down and 12, ball at the 25-yard line. Postler looking near side, able to hit his receiver, Vinny Corso. Corso going right in the teeth of the defense, able to get down to the 18 and inside the red zone.
Close to the first down marker. It looks like it'll be 3rd and short. We'll see if they unless they measure.
3rd and 5. I'll give it to you, I guess.
Shorter. I'm not good with yardage, people. Give me a break. But anyway, let's see if they. Do you think they go draw here? They continue to throw it.
No, I think at this point they're having so much success with the pass game, just keep it up.
3rd and 5, ball at the 18-yard line inside the red zone, knocking on the door of the end zone for the Raiders, tossing it deep down the field. Contact there, but no penalty flag is going to be thrown, as they're going to say there's contact on both sides with just above 7:40 left in the game, 7:48 to be exact. The Raiders are faced with a 4th and 5.
Now what? I would kick it, try and take the points, but it appears they're staying on the field here.
It either shows one or two things. They do not trust their kicker, which I think they do. Riley Garrett's been spectacular. I think they really just trust his offense.
Try to make the defense hop off sides on the hard count with a 4th and 5. Boucher and Peterson on the far side, Corso and Colliard on the near side with Archibald in the backfield. Postler, the ball goes above him on the muff snap. He just has to toss it deep down the field, and he does, but he throws it out of bounds, and is going to be a turnover on downs off of the 4th and 5.
And I saw the play clock going down right there. I thought that the only intention of the offense staying on the field was to try and draw them off sides. Then all of a sudden they snap it. It looked like there was miscommunication between maybe the offensive coordinator, the quarterback, maybe even the head coach as to what they wanted to do on that particular play. As I said, I would have taken the points, stayed safe. You're in the second quarter. You still have time to build going forward.
And as a coach, you just got to constantly reassure your players. Now, they are down by 21. They're heading into the second half of the first half, I should say, second part of the first half. But, constantly reassure your defense and your offense, your players. Don't let them get down on themselves, because that's how players lose games, with lack of confidence.
1st and 10, ball on their own 18-yard line. Going to be a handoff. Number 5 was there, Jake Cuero.
And the run defense is a staple for Moorpark. We'll have to see if this passing attack can continue to be remedied here.
And now on the 2nd down and 8, it's going to be a pass to the near side, able to get another chunk change of yards that's going to set up a 3rd down.
And who else? Ivory Jackson coming out of the backfield again, tracking him down before they're able to get another first down. He's so beneficial. He's such a key to have on this defense. Not only is he great by stopping the run and causing sacks, but he's also great at chasing down some of these quick wide receivers.
And now it's going to set up a 3rd down. It's going to be a 3rd down and 5. Ball on their own 23-yard line with a man in motion. Swing route is defended as Barry was almost there for the reception, but good coverage by the Raiders.
Great job by the veteran Landon Alatorre. We haven't talked about him too much this year. A little bit more of a quiet year for a sophomore year, but last year was spectacular for a secondary. Great job right there, knocking the ball out and causing a 4th down. Great job by Alatorre.
How that pass was not intercepted is beyond me. First of all, the ability to try and fit it into that window is one thing, but you saw sort of double coverage right there on their number 1 wide receiver. That's what Moorpark is looking to do, try and shut down the number 1 threat of this Saddleback team.
And exactly, because Drew Mathis was right there as well on the double coverage. He was able to play that zone defense and be able to cut right back over to Barry. As 4th and 5, punting situation, Vinny Corso calls for a fair catch, and the Raiders will have it past their own 30-yard line. And a quick note, this is the first time that Saddleback has had to punt since their 2nd drive of the game. Just a little context, this is their 7th drive.
It looks like at this point right now the team is starting to come together. Things are starting to work, but they're not able to finish, at least on the offensive standpoint. Defensively, you know, they're starting to stop these drives from accumulating into points. But offensively, it looks like, you know, they came all the way down inside the 20, but weren't able to finish it. Let's see if they can finish it off this time.
As of now, I would stick with Pulsler. He seems to be the one more in charge at this rate.
And now right now in the shotgun, another must snap for Postler, and he's going to be backed up of the 1st and 10 from the 32. At least a loss of 6 on the play.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a little bit of a miscommunication between the center. They're not able to get these snaps down. These are causing a huge problem within the passing game.
Number 74, Trevor Martins, I believe.
And now on a 2nd down and 16, a quick pass is going to be completed there for a pretty good amount of yards. That was Boucher on the reception, but yeah, as we mentioned, number 74 for the Moorpark Raiders. He is the center in right now, as he has a few of the snaps go over the quarterback's head. That's Trevor Martins.
He's struggling today. He's putting his offense in very tough situations, first of all on that last drive, but it seems like there's either miscommunication or he just has trouble feeling where the ball should be going.
Just about 5.5 minutes left in the first half. A throw to Vinny Corso is going to be caught, and it should be a first down for the Raiders off of the long 3rd down and 7.
Great catch by Corso. He jumped up right there, timed it perfectly. The throw didn't seem to be too bad, but it looked like Corso just used his athleticism to catch the ball.
He definitely could have got that ball down, though. Ethan probably threw that up a little bit longer than he'd like to. But either way, it still was able to get enough to continue the drive.
And yes, it will continue the drive. It's going to be a 1st down and 10 ball at the 44-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Archibald. Archibald on the near side. He's going to be thrown out of bounds for about a loss of 1. Almost a face mask penalty on the play.
And right there wasn't too much there, running to the shallow side of the field. You saw it there, Polster trying to read the defense, not much, gives it away to his running back. Unfortunately, not able to come away with any positive yardage.
And Saddleback needs to be careful. They need to be able to show controlled intensity and aggression, which means that they cannot have a late hit or face mask on that play.
And now it's going to set up a 2nd down and 11, ball on their own 43-yard line, as it's going to be penalty flags littering the field. Should be a late hit on the quarterback.
Flags everywhere. Everywhere, probably for multiple different reasons. I'm not sure if it's all for one.
I think I might have saw a little bit of a grab on Couillard's back of his jersey too, maybe some pass interference on the defense, late hit on the offense. Either way, I'm almost positive it's going against Saddleback.
There are going to be 2 penalties, and both of them are going to be against Saddleback. It's going to be holding against the defense, as you mentioned. You saw Boucher's jersey being grabbed. That's actually going to be declined, but they are going to be having roughing the passer penalty against the defense, and that one will be enforced, and it's going to be should be a 1st down for Moorpark off of that penalty.
And of course, that makes more sense. You're going to get a couple extra yards with roughing the passer. In this day and age, the league, and no matter what league you're in, tries so cautiously to protect the quarterback. So whenever there's a low blow like that, you're going to get a nice chunk of yardage.
So 2 first downs on this drive, 1 by penalty, 1 by plays. As a 1st down and 10, ball at the 42-yard line, inside enemy territory. Hostler looking deep down the field at Collier. Collier trying to contort his body, a penalty flag thrown. Probably going to be pass interference against the defense.
That was Tyler Noble right there covering Couillard. I think that he got maybe a hand in there again. Couillard, great job, whether he was trying to or not, at least making it look like he was being held on to. Kind of the equivalent of a flop in basketball, you could call it. But that was a great job by Couillard, at least showing some sort of struggle, causing the flag.
It looked like the ball was underthrown by Polsler.
It's actually going to be 2 fouls. It's going to be pass interference against the defense. That was against Saddleback College. It's going to be holding against the offense also, so it's just going to be offset, so Moorpark is not going to be able to gain any yards off of that pass interference.
To finish off that point, it looked like the ball was underthrown, and I believe it was cleared, correct?
Yep, correct.
He had to adjust and try to come back to the ball for Polsler.
Yeah, that ball was a little bit underthrown right there. He's got to work on hitting them in stride. We've seen a couple throws now that Polster's kind of left him in the air too long and not hit him where the ball needs to be.
Replay first down after those penalties, so it's still first down and 10. Ball from the 42-yard line inside enemy territory. Polster has nowhere to go, steps up in the pocket, hits Colliard. Colliard dives forward for another first down, third first down of the drive.
Great job there by Polster, stepping up in the pocket, finding Colliard with all sorts of pressure coming around. I was talking to him after one of these games, and he said his favorite athlete is Tom Brady. That was a little bit of a Tom Brady move right there, moving around in the pocket, able to pick up the first down.
And it gives you a better set to be able to throw from. You can step into the throw a little bit better.
So now a first down and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Creation. Creation able to get a gain of yards, about 4 on the play.
Dragging right there. I mean, it's so fascinating to watch Jeremiah Creation, work too, because he's only listed here as 5'11", 200, but he drags these guys like he's 6'4", 250. So he's got a lot of strength behind his legs, not being the tallest guy in the field, but definitely acts like it.
4 minutes left in the first half, second quarter of action, 24-3 lead for Saddleback College as Polsler draws back to pass, looking far sideline. Pass is going to be completed and is going to be about a few yards shy of the first down marker. That was number 81, Jalil Lipkin.
And nice job right there by Jalil Lipkin coming around and catching that ball, but you got to be careful right there. You saw Polster under distress, kind of just throws it off his back foot. Very lucky that the Saddleback DB wasn't able to turn around in time to pick that off.
Tough play. Polster is very lucky and gutsy to be able to make that throw.
Third down and 2 now here for the Moorpark Raiders inside the red zone. Knocking on the door of the end zone right now from the 17-yard line. Creation gets the handoff once again, has a hole, but it's clobbered right there by Saddleback. A loss of 3 on the play.
Leo Taba coming right off the edge right there, stopping the play before it was able to develop. I think that Moorpark's going to trust their offense and keep them on the field again. They were 1 for 2 today with 4th down conversions, if I'm not mistaken.
If I were them on that third down, I would have either done a screen or an option or something like that. Running it up the middle seems a little predictable to me.
4th down and 5, 10 seconds left on the play clock. Trips on the near side on the right side of the formation. 2:40 left in the first half, second quarter of action. On this 4th and 5, Polster draws back to pass. Rolls outside of the pocket, hit big time when he threw the football. Intended for Colliard, but it's going to be incomplete, and Polster still on the field.
He took a shot, and he either looks like the wind either got knocked out of him really bad or he is definitely injured. It does not look good, and we hope that he is somewhat okay at this point in time and ultimately very okay as he gets off this field right now.
He took a massive shot. You got to have respect for athletes like that are willing to put their body for their team right there. Knew he was about to get leveled, still threw it up. Unfortunately, wasn't able to come away with a touchdown, but hate to see that happen, especially to one of the star players on the team.
And yeah. I was interested about why that might not have been a roughing the passer call.
I think he got hit as he threw it away. There wasn't a 2-step.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also one of the things that Polster did, he was kind of running towards the line of scrimmage. He was running with that forward momentum. So his pressure running straight into the defender, it's like running into a brick wall. If you walk into a brick wall, it's not going to hurt as much. If a brick wall is thrown at you, it's not going to hurt as much. But if you run into a brick wall being thrown at you, it's going to hurt even more.
Absolutely, you hate to see that happen. One thing to be noted, too, when we look at this Moorpark offense, a lot of these guys here are from out of state. When I was talking to him after the game, he said that this was one of his only opportunities. He's from Iowa, actually. And, of course, he's coming all the way across the country to come out here and play. And, of course, you never want to see someone's season be taken away, or even worse, you don't want to see any injuries be caused on this field.
And you never want to see a quarterback competition coming down to an injury. I mean, no matter, even if you're Bryce Viola, you want to have an Ethan Polster to be able to play against and try to compete against. So when a quarterback situation is decided by an injury, it just does both of them harm. So hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's able to bounce back and give Bryce, a run for his money so that Bryce can be able to elevate his play as Ethan is able to do the same.
Absolutely, absolutely. You never want to win the job out just by great job to see him get up. That's awesome. He did look like he was in a lot of pain.
Where exactly did he get hit?
His
by
stomach.
chance?
It looked like it was a clean hit.
Because my concern would be the ribs, because if you get hit that
that's
hard in the
definitely where it
ribs,
looked
cracked ribs is very hard to heal from and very annoying to deal with. So that's a very big concern.
And hopefully it is just he got the air knocked out of him a couple times. In my career, when that happened, it feels like, you broke a bone or whatnot. Of course, we don't know the situation, but we're hoping for the best, and hopefully that's the case when he just got the air knocked out of him. He's able to walk off on his own 2 feet.
Yeah, so hopefully Ethan Posler is able to have some attention by the trainers and be all okay. But a 1st down and 10 coming up for the Gauchos on their own 20-yard line off of the turnover on downs is smothered by the Raiders, able to gain about 1 on the play.
And sometimes when an injury like that happens, it actually can benefit the opposite side of the ball, for this case, the defense, because you're playing with fire now. Your teammate's hurt, you want to play, you want to do good for him.
And now off of the 2nd down and 9 is going to be a pass to the near side, and DiOrienzo is able to sniff it out and tackle him for a loss of yards.
And Moorpark smartly uses a timeout right here, conserving time. Conserving time and being able to try and get one last drive in, of course, as far as we know at this point, with Viole at quarterback, and hopefully get one more stop on this 3rd down.
And while we do have that break in action, a 24-3 lead with just about 2 minutes left for Saddleback, we're going to thank a few more of our sponsors. We can't do without you, so thank you very much for supporting Moorpark College Athletics and Moorpark Raider Livestream. The Hat Restaurant in Simi Valley, since 1951. 67 years of serving the world-famous pastrami, burgers, dogs, chili. Open 7 days from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Visit them at www.thehat.com. Latin Auto Group, family-owned and operated for over 45 years. Always close to home. Located in the Thousand Oaks Auto Mall. Go Raiders. Best wishes for a great year at the Latin Hyundai of Subaru. And Stonefire Grill, where community is served. Proudly supporting Moorpark College Athletics. At the Stonefire Grill. For all your catering needs, call 855-SFG-TO-GO or order at stonefiregrill.com. Go Raiders. Now we're back to the action. Just above 2 minutes left. A 3rd down and 14. Ball's thrown to the far sideline from the 16-yard line. Able to get about a gain of 4, so only able to get back to the original line of scrimmage for a 4th down and 10.
Great job by Jacob Zamora there. Great open field tackling, stopping him before he was able to pick up the 1st down. Open field tackling is, if not the most important thing when it comes to playing secondary in for any football team, for that matter. It's so crucial because you're constantly going against wide receivers, running backs, tight ends in open field situations. So great job by Jacob Zamora.
About 1.5 minutes left in this first half, 2nd quarter of action. The Moorpark Raiders, once again, will be recovering the opening kick of the 2nd half, so they'll have the ball starting off. Vinny Corso is not going to return the punt as it takes a huge Saddleback bounce all the way to the 21-yard line.
Go ahead, Jesse.
You go into the 2-minute offense here, either try and go for some out routes, conserve the clock, maybe take a few shots deep, and possibly try and get into field goal range on this drive.
Moorpark's defense coming alive as of late. No 1st downs given up in the past 2 drives from the Raiders defense.
And that's what I was talking about as we were starting to head into the later half of the 2nd quarter here. That everything's starting to click finally. At least for defensively it has been, and offensively they're getting so close to finishing these drives. They definitely need to get some points on the board before going to the half though.
So now on the 1st down and 10, Bryce Viole is in at quarterback. Ethan Posler was injured on that last drive from their own 21-yard line. Passes completed to the far sideline, able to get out of bounds for Ryan Matlock.
Yeah, and use the sideline as your best friend for these last minute right here. No timeouts left. The only way you're going to stop the clock is an incompletion, getting out of bounds, or spike. And, of course, you do not want to waste a down if you can avoid it.
So now with a 2nd down and short coming up at about a 2nd down and 5 to be exact. Correction, 2nd down and 4. Ball at the 27-yard line. Viole looking far side. Pass is thrown deep down the field. Is going to be incomplete, but there's a penalty flag. Most likely going to be passing interference.
And it looked like that might have been on Tristan West, number 27 of the Saddleback defense right there. Sometimes what quarterbacks will do, if they have smart IQ, we saw right there, it didn't really look like he was open.
So it is going to be a first down for Moorpark, holding against the defense.
And it looks like at this point I might be able to be another coach on the sideline. It appears that they are doing exactly as we have discussed, throwing a few shots deep, getting a couple out routes, trying to conserve time on the clock.
So now with the first down and 10, it's going to be a first down and 10, ball placed at their own 37-yard line. Viole has nowhere to go. The pressure is coming, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds.
Is that an intentional grounding, or was he outside the tackle box?
He was outside the tackle box,
okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
Near the 30-yard, the number of the 30-yard line. Oh, late flag. Maybe you're right. He seemed to be far outside of it, though. Well,
apparently not.
I guess not.
It is going to be intentional grounding.
That's a strange call. I mean, unless they're going off the fact that he did just kind of chuck it away. But even then, he seemed to be far outside the tackle box. Either way.
Or maybe they said that there was no receiver in the
yeah,
area.
Exactly.
Which
That's
is why
definitely what
the
I
flag.
think they went with right there. It seems like right now Viola's not having enough time to at least get the ball out of his hand. Right now, every time he's dropping back in the pocket, people are coming from all sides here. So.
And that's the exact opposite of what it's supposed to be doing.
And now off of this long second down, Viole trying to get something to happen, tosses it deep down the field on the near sideline, and is going to be intercepted, trying to see if his feet are in bounds.
And that was Tristan Cofentes right there coming up with a nice interception, keeping his feet in bounds and stopping this last drive, going into the half 24-3.
One heck of a catch right there. He leaped. I was not sure if he came down in bounds. It looked like he did get a foot down, and obviously the momentum is not switching over, but it is clearly on the firm side of Saddleback right now.
You know, I think it actually is completely on Saddleback's side right now, Justin. I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but plus a little bit more. At this point, everything's going right. Moorpark can't seem to finish these drives. This last drive wasn't like the previous couple, but none of these drives have been able to score or finish with points on the board. Since the first drive of the game, they haven't put any points on the board. So, and with Ethan Polster going down, it seems to cause a lot of problems here on this Moorpark team.
First down and 10, ball placed at their own 35-yard line. Patterson able to get out of trouble and almost intercepted, went straight outside of the hands of the defensive back, number 29, Jacob Zamora.
And True Mathis laid a pop right there on Patterson. He wanted to make sure if you're going to throw the ball when I'm near you, you're going to pay.
And to go back on the concern about the quarterback situation, Polsler looked to be the guy in rhythm. He looked to be the key to the cog of the Moorpark offense. So the concern is that now you've lost the chemistry going forward because he is injured.
But now with the second down and 10 for the Gauchos, ball still at their own 35-yard line. Just under 30 seconds left in the first half. Patterson getting outside of the pocket, hit when he threw the football, but it's going to be a reception and past the 50.
They still have 2 timeouts to play with as well, which means they can very well get into field goal range within these last 20 seconds or so.
And Ivory Jackson put just enough pressure on Patterson for him to throw the ball a little bit indirectly, but still, Kalen Coates was able to come away with it. The intended receiver, number 84, Yasir Berry, who's their go-to target, looked like he was aiming for him, but Kalen Coates is still able to come away with the ball, even with the mishap.
So after the first down, dropped back to pass is a first down and 10 from the 47-yard line. Pass is thrown to the running back. A nice move, able to get the Raiders off guard, but the football is up, and it looks like the Raiders were able to recover it. If there's no penalties, I don't see any penalty flags. If they're not saying the running back was on the ground, it's going to be Raider football right now.
Well, time has run out on the clock, so I'm not sure really either way what it could have done for Moorpark, because they basically just stopped the drive at heading into the half.
It builds momentum is what it does, Justin. Going to the half, they have all this fire, and they're getting the ball coming out second half. That was a great job. I wish we had a replay here so we could bring it up, but right there, I don't even know who dislodged the ball, but whoever did laid a nice hit. Ball went 30 feet in the air, it looked like. But Jonathan Jefferson right there with some nice cutbacks. they pretty much what they did right there is they destroyed his confidence and they built momentum. The momentum was recaptured on the Moorpark side.
So as we did have, that is going to be the end of the half, the first half. 24-3 lead here for the Saddleback Gauchos against the Moorpark Raiders. Make sure that you stay tuned with us for the Raider halftime report, sponsored by Big Brand Tire and Services. We're going to have Chris Cassidy, the Director of Marketing, that I'm going to be joining for an interview. So make sure that you stay tuned with us, and we're going to have second half action in just a bit, only here on the Moorpark Raider live stream. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Raider Halftime Report, sponsored by Big Brand Tire and Service. Big means go, a proud corporate sponsor and partner of Moorpark College Athletics. Rise up at Big Brand Tire and Service. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning into your coverage of Moorpark College Athletics here on the Moorpark Raider live stream for this halftime show. My name is Ryan Ketchum, play-by-play commentator. Once again, joined alongside Nick Federico, one of our color commentator analysts for you this evening. And once again, we are here at Griffith Stadium, home of the Raiders, where they're playing up against the Saddleback Gauchos. At halftime, Saddleback College has a 24-3 lead over the Moorpark Raiders. And a big headline, big story of that first half, Ethan Postler, who he was leading his team down the field. He had two drives, 3 first downs, so he had 3 first downs in both those drives, 6 in total, and that was all Ethan Postler at the quarterback position. Is currently out right now. At least he got knocked out of the game. What do you have to say about that? I mean, Ethan Postler just a huge part of this Moorpark offense that we saw in this game.
I think that it's devastating to see one of your star players go down. I think that we finally were starting to see who the Moorpark Raiders' potential QB1 was going to be. I mean, the first couple drives he had were kind of shaky. If you noticed, we had 2 drives with Polster, 2 drives with Viole, back to 2 drives with Polster. But that was his second time around. He was starting to pick it up, like you said. Multiple 3 first down possessions, and towards the end, right there, he's marching down there on the 20-yard line. They're knocking at the door. They're finally about to score, and then he takes a blow. Now, something you have to respect with this kid is that he knew he was going to take that hit. If you watch him, he's loading back in the pocket. He knows he's about to take the hit, but great quarterbacks do that. Even though they know that there's going to be pressure and pain in their face, he was still able to throw the ball. Now, fortunately, it wasn't caught, and there was no touchdown, and he took a massive shot. But I think one thing that he did do that was positive was he left something imprinted into his teammates' brains that said, hey, I'm going to lay my life down for you guys if you're willing to do the same for me. So before he was injured, I think he's starting to play pretty well, hitting his receivers, picking up first downs, and knocking on that touchdown. So unfortunately, when he went down, I think it shook the whole team up. But luckily, we haven't had a number 1 quarterback. So Bryce Viole, who actually got the majority of the reps this year, it's just another day for him. He's like, okay, now I get to go back in and do what I do. So I think you never want to see a player go down, but when you do, it's a good problem to have that both quarterbacks have gotten similar amount of reps.
And Saddleback on the other end, the offense for Saddleback has just been tremendous. Patterson has been making the correct throws, and he's been using his wheels when he had to. Also, just the whole entire offensive scheme, I mean, putting up 24 points right now. They had a 50-21 victory against Pasadena City College in their last game at home. So far, 0-1 on the road, but showing Moorpark why they're still one of the best teams in the nation. They were ranked top 30 in the nation according to the NJCAA 2018 College Yearbook rankings, and currently they're outside of the top 30, but only losses to College of the Canyons and Ventura, who were as high ranked as them in the preseason. So they're showing that they are a great team. What do you have to say about the offense? Because the offense just seems like they're driving down the field. Only 3 out of the 9 possessions, they did not get a first down.
Saddleback, I mean, if you just talk about them as an overall team, but we'll focus on the offense first. I mean, yeah, they've been playing spectacular. One thing that I noticed in this game that we didn't cover in the pregame show because it wasn't something that we really talked about or the stats showed is that Robbie Patterson, he can run. I mean, we've seen him about 4 or 5 times tonight picking up first downs. Of course, he had a touchdown here on this side of the end zone against the Raiders. So he can definitely run, he can hurdle, and he's definitely elusive. But when it comes to the pass game, he's also hitting his receivers on the money. You see him on the slant routes, which are very hard to hit when you're leading receiver in stride. He's hitting it. He's checking his he's reading his checkdowns, and he's going through his progressions, extremely well. So Robbie Patterson has been playing outstanding. Someone that hasn't got enough of credit, I guess, as we should say, is Jeremiah Johnson playing outstanding. Number 26 for the Saddleback Gauchos. He's been playing outstanding. A couple of cutbacks here and there. He might have lost a little bit of momentum. We saw right at the last play of the game, the Moorpark Raiders were able to swarm him and make that ball pop out and kind of, regain some momentum going back into halftime. But he's been playing outstanding as well. So I think as an overall offense, they've been doing almost everything right. Not too many things that the Moorpark Raiders have been able to do to contain them as a team.
And also Saddleback's defense, we mentioned in the pregame show that it was not just a few players, it was the whole entire team. It was a team effort. Top guy had 21 tackles, second guy had 21, third guy had 19, fourth guy had 18, so forth down the list. It was almost everybody had double-digit tackles, but nobody had upwards towards 40 or 50 tackles. It was everybody just playing well together, and we've seen that out today. But also on the Moorpark side of the defense, Ivory Jackson, some big players for Moorpark, coming up strong, but it seems like they keep getting backed up with these first downs. What do you need to change if you're Coach Stewart and company for the Moorpark Raiders to be able to just have that strong defense and stop them from getting first downs?
I think what you have to do is you first need to work on, mental toughness and figuring out how to contain your emotions. Now, they haven't been too bad on the flags that have come in the game. The penalties have been actually very minimal. But I think that you need to readjust, and you need to figure out how you can keep Robbie Patterson inside the pocket, because when he gets outside the pocket, Moorpark's having a tough enough time as it is when he's in the pocket, but when he's outside, he's virtually impossible to stop. So I think they need to go through their adjustments and figure out, maybe play a little bit more zone so that they can stay a little bit more conservative when it comes to, Robbie Patterson and the Gauchos offense. So make some adjustments defensively on how to stop the quarterback and, tie him down with some zone coverages. Offensively, I guess we're going to find out right now when we come out and see if Ethan's able to come back or not. But if he's not, entrust and instill as much confidence as you can into Bryce Viole. Number one thing you need to do is make sure that your players don't get down on themselves. When they get down on themselves, like we talked about, that's how they lose games. So keep them upbeat, keep them focused. Hey, they're still in this game. They're only down by 3 touchdowns. They are getting the ball starting the second half, so they just need to figure it out and ultimately come together as a team, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
And also speaking about offense, some guys that have stepped up a little bit, Jeremiah Creation, Archibald as well. Whenever they get the football in the backfield, it seems like they know what to do with it right now. There's a few times that the Gauchos, they were able to stack the box and send some pressure and be able to tackle them in the backfield. But it seems like these guys, when they're able to get their hold, they're able to push through.
Yes, absolutely. Archibald, we saw on that huge third down on that swing pass that Ethan Polster actually led that drive. Hit him on a little bit of a swing pass. He was able to break a tackle, and he's so fast. These guys were within a foot of him, and he's able to take it to the outside and turn a 1-yard gain into 13 yards. So Brandon Archibald's great when we come to the outside and a little bit more of a passing running back, or catching running back, I should say. But Jeremiah Creation is perfect when it comes to those short, third down, second downs. He's able to drop his shoulder, and he carries these guys for 3 to 4 yards every single time. And that eventually is going to accumulate to first downs, which will accumulate to scores, which accumulate to wins if they can all get on the same page. Right now, they're not all on the same page.
And Yasir Berry, number 84, lead wide receiver for the Gauchos. It seemed like Moorpark was able to shut him down early, but that might just be because Patterson wasn't throwing the football to him. Whenever Patterson has found Berry, it has been for a huge gain, and he's able to get time and time again, find him in his spot. So Berry, that's one person that they have to make sure that they defend. We saw a few times in the game, however, that they were sending double coverage against Berry. So what ways can you kind of protect that? Because it seems like when they can't go to Berry, they just send another one of their receivers, so you can't really send double coverage at one guy.
What I would say to that is you can't play too aggressive on one player. We've seen right now that Moorpark can shut down Berry. They've done that a lot this first half. Now, of course, he did get a touchdown, and there's things they need to adjust. But you can't play so aggressive on one player, because what that does is when you put all that attention on one player, you ultimately open yourself up to other players making plays, like we saw Johnson. Some of these running backs are coming up and making plays along with some other wide receivers on the team. So what you got to do is you have to lay back, trust in your defense, who's been outstanding. Of course, with Ivory Jackson, who's making plays almost every other play, Drew Mathis and such, Dylan Chung, the list goes on and on. But what you have to do is you can't play too aggressive with one player. Kind of lay back a little bit, still play on your toes, but don't put all your players onto one guy, because what you're going to do is open yourself up for deep balls left and right.
Exactly, and that's just going to be difficult to defend, because when you have a limited secondary, then it's just going to be exposed all over. So quick last thoughts of the first half. What needs to be changed by Saddleback? We were talking a lot about Moorpark, but what needs to be changed by Saddleback? Obviously with 24-3 lead, but they still had 3 times where they went 3 and out and they had a punt. What do you need to change in your Saddleback to be able to make sure that you continue to get those first downs and march down the field?
Limit the penalties. They seem to be kind of leading the game in penalties right now, so limit the penalties if you're Saddleback, and also work on getting the snaps down a little bit. Now, Moorpark had that problem too, but focus on, basically, they are doing a pretty good job at everything they're doing right now. I would say continue the same game plan, but if there's one thing they need to work on is just getting their passes down and holding on to that ball. They fumbled a couple times.
Exactly. So we'll be back with you for the second half in just a few moments. Director of Marketing for Big Brand Tire and Company, Chris Cassidy, has also been here, so make sure that you say hi to him at Big Brand Tire and Company. But thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to your Raider Halftime Report. We'll be back with second half coverage in just a few moments. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to your coverage of Moorpark College football here on the Moorpark Raider live stream. We just had right there the halftime report sponsored by Big Brand Tire and Service. Chris Cassidy is also here, Director of Marketing for Big Brand Tire and Service, and he's actually going to be here for most of the home games this season, so make sure to go and say hi whenever you can, and also go and visit them at Big Brand Tire and Service. They're very helpful, and they actually have a halftime show where they have a contest where you have a huge inflatable tire that you have to take from the goal line to the 50-yard line, and you could have a chance to win 4 free tires, which is amazing. So make sure that you go and say hi to them whenever you can.
As we start this half, I'm interested to see if Pulsler is back or if they continue to go with Violet if Pulsler is hurt. We need the offense for Moorpark needs to get moving and start trying to get some points on the board.
Absolutely, yes. They do need to start capitalizing on these drives here. Unable to come away with anything since the first one.
So here comes Bryce Violet lined up with a first down and 10. It's going to be a handoff stop for a loss of yards there. It's going to be a loss of a few. That was Archibald on the carry.
I don't think we'll see Pulsler the rest of this game. He took a pretty big hit, huge hit, really, at the end of the half, and I think as a precaution, the Moorpark coaching staff and the rest of this team want to see him heal and try and stay out of this game for the rest of it.
Absolutely. I'm looking actually right now. I don't even think I see him on the sidelines here, at least in his gear.
And now on this second down and 11, the pass was completed to the outside on the near side. It's going to be about a yard shy of the first down marker.
And at this point, I would just continue until they can stop it. Just go with keep going with the pass game right now. Because at this point, the pass game seems to be the only thing that's really working for the Moorpark Raiders. So just stick with it, because when it comes to the run game, they're able to stop them almost every other time here.
Well, Violet seems to be a little more inaccurate than Pulsler, so I'm not sure that's the best strategy. I would maybe try and mix some runs in, start this half.
Right now with a third down and 1 for the Moorpark Raiders. They got 4 wide receivers, 2 spread out on both sides of the field. A quick out route pass is completed to Vinny Corso for the first down for Moorpark.
Nice job right there. It looked like they had a little check down or maybe a little audible call between Corso and Violet, and able to pay off right there for a first down.
They need to score on this drive. You don't want to be too methodical because, in my opinion, you want to get 2 scores in this quarter, but you want to get points on the board.
So now marching down the field, a first down and 10, 13.5 minutes left in the third quarter from the 39-yard line. Pass was completed. Archibald was able to get all the way to the 47-yard line.
And one thing that Moorpark's been able to do consistently here on the offensive side of the ball is these swing passes have worked tremendously for them. I mean, about 3 or 4 times tonight they've gone to it, and they're able to come away with first downs almost every time, especially with someone like Archibald.
And this is what we talked about in that first half. Let your receivers do the work where the inaccuracy of the quarterback may falter.
So now on this second down and short, it's going to be a second down and 2 for the Moorpark Raiders. Violet in a shotgun formation. Archibald is the back. Usual formation we've seen out here for Moorpark. As they're rolling out to the near side, pass thrown across his body to Colliard. It's going to be incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and 2.
You never want to throw the pass across your body. It leaves dangerous holes for the defense to exploit. An easy pickoff on a tip could also be in play there.
Absolutely, you never want to do that. You saw right there, Bryce Violet, too, coming around the edge. He's not had a lot of time in the pocket yet. I mean, so often he's having to roll out and trying to find some time to give himself. So this Moorpark Raider offensive line needs to kind of work on holding down their blocks.
So now with this 3rd and short, a 3rd and 2, trips on the far side, man is in motion. It's going to be a pitch to Archibald. Archibald trying to get some room in front of him, and he does. It's going to be another first down for Moorpark.
And this methodical pace by Moorpark's offense paying off early as they look to get into field goal range here. Good mix of play calling between pass and run.
Great job there, too. You had Kyle Peterson coming back on the crack back. A nice block, and Vinny Corso in open field blocking, able to spring Archibald for a first down.
So it will be a first down and 10 inside enemy territory on the 49-yard line. Violet taking it himself and dives forward. It looks like he's about a yard shy to the first down, but they're actually going to be marking him, yes, at the 40-yard line.
One thing you can say that Viola has the upper hand on compared to Polstler is he's not scared to take a hit. Not saying that Polstler is, but you see he's a lot more physical when it comes to running in between the tackles. He dives out, gives his body almost every play when he has the ball in his hands.
And he's more willing to take risks possibly and run with his feet as well, which is another dimension for this Moorpark offense.
So now a 2nd down and 1, ball at the 40-yard line. Viola, quick pass completed to the outside on the far side. That was Boucher on the reception. And one quick side note, I have never seen this at a community college football game, but they have a beach ball, that inflatable beach ball that you usually see at Dodger games or, you know, Major League Baseball games that the fans are hitting around right now.
There's a first time for everything, I guess. Mind passing it up here?
On the 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. It's going to be a handoff about a yard on the carry.
We should be playing some Beach Boys right now. Just get right into the mood with it. Come on.
Right now it looks like as if the Moorpark Raiders have an answer every time for the pass game, but no answer for the run game.
3 first downs so far on this drive alone. They're going to say it was a gain of 3 on the carry. Correction, 2 on the carry. It's going to be a 2nd down and 8. Viola with the pressure coming at him, tosses it deep down the field to Boucher. It's going to be incomplete, setting up a 3rd down and 8.
And you got to give credit when credit is due. So far, the Saddleback defense, as a secondary as a whole, they have been doing a great job of holding down the receivers when it comes to man coverage. Every time they're in man coverage, it looks as though Viola has nowhere to go with the ball.
And I don't think the coverage was all that bad. I just think that it created some pressure at the very end with somebody coming up the middle right there.
So now a 3rd down and 8 coming up from Moorpark College. 10:50 left in the 3rd quarter. Viola feeling some pressure, having to roll out to the near side, throwing on the run, deep in the end zone, but it's going to be short, and it's going to be intercepted by the Gauchos.
And just like that, the momentum has been taken away.
There was a flag there, number 17 of the Gauchos, Blake Cannon right there, Keenan.
There's going to be unnecessary roughness against the defense, but it was after the interception. So Saddleback still has the football, and they are now going to have it in a better field position than they did before.
And Justin, I like what you were saying about you can't be throwing off your back foot right there. Viola had nowhere to go. Instead, just throw it away or get out of bounds. He kind of chucks it up off his back foot. No Moorpark Raiders are really around, and Saddleback's able to come down with an easy first down, or interception, pardon me.
And that's the risk a team can run when you put in a quarterback who can make moves with his feet. You can have miraculous plays. You can draw out the defense and try and improvise, but it could lead to plays like that, interceptions such as that call.
So now on the 1st down and 10, they're actually going to be inside their own 5-yard line. The unnecessary roughness penalty, was against Saddleback, so they were backed up even further into their own red zone. But on the 1st down, they were able to move it up to about the 9-yard line for a 2nd down and 5.
And right there, if we pull up that last play, they brought a fullback right back in there because they're so pinned up. They have to bring a fullback in just for a little bit of extra ports just to get out of that situation.
Throwing on the run, able to hit his check down to the running back, and he has some daylight in front of him down to the 25-yard line. 1st down for the Gauchos.
Number 38 there for the Gauchos, Jordan Bua, who said his name a couple times tonight, making up for some nice ground on an easy little quick out.
If Bua wasn't tackled right there, that could have been a touchdown.
Absolutely, he has some serious wheels behind him.
And now after that play, it's going to set up a 1st down for the Gauchos. Moorpark's first drive of the 2nd half had 3 first downs, and Saddleback already with a 1st down of their own as the beach ball goes flying in the stands. On this 1st down and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Your ability to segue is superb here, Ryan. Maybe the Moorpark offense could use that beach ball to bring a little life to their current situation as they've been throwing interceptions and have multiple miscues going on. The defense hasn't played bad. You can say they gave up 24 points, but I think it's because they've been put in an unfortunate position by their offense.
And now that was off of a 1st down and 10 from the 26. Now it's going to be a 2nd down and 9, ball at the 27-yard line. Their own 27-yard line for the Saddleback Gauchos with 9:10 left in the 3rd quarter. Going to be a handoff straight to the middle, sniffed out by the Raiders defense. It's going to be about a gain of 1 on the play.
A whole bunch of Raiders flying in right there. Ivory Jackson, Dylan Chung, Drew Mathis. That's what you need to stop these drives. Group tackles, gang tackles is what they call it. All 11 hats to the ball.
Big third down right here. Probably the biggest stop of the game at this point. You want to have plenty of time to come back and try and put a drive together and score at least before the end of the quarter, if not multiple times before the end of this quarter.
So now setting up a 3rd down and 8 with 8.5 minutes left in the third quarter. 24-3 lead for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders. And instead of running the play, they're going to be calling timeout. So while we do have a break in the action, we're going to thank a few of our sponsors once again. Thank you very much for sponsoring Moorpark College Athletics. So we're going to thank you for just your support with us. U.S. Army. Go on business trips with a company like no other. U.S. Army. Big Brand Tire and Service, who's the game sponsor and also the halftime pregame and postgame show sponsor. Big Means Go, proud corporate partner of Moorpark College Athletics. Rise up at Big Brand Tire and Service. Wells Fargo Bank. Wells Fargo is recommitting to help all of our customers succeed financially. At Wells Fargo, established in 1852 and reestablished in 2018. UCLA Health is a proud sponsor of Moorpark College Athletics with neighborhood offices in Simi Valley, Porter Ranch, Thousand Oaks, and Westlake Village. The very best care is now closer to you at UCLA Health. It begins with you. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors, and now we're back to our action with a 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Gauchos. Patterson dropping back to pass. Is rushed down by the Raiders. Drew Mathis coming up with the sack.
And who else besides Ivory Jackson, of course. But Drew, the anchor of the defense, coming up big, probably the biggest play of the game to this point. And Moorpark needs to get some good field position, try and get some momentum going on this next series.
Great job, Drew Mathis right there. You saw Patterson about to take off out of the pocket once again, but Drew able to make a key stop on a 3rd down.
And is going to be a key stop because it's setting up a 4th down and 9 off of the loss of 1 on the sack. Obvious punting situation. The snap is muffed and is going to be a block by the Raiders. That's Lorenzo Bernardi.
Lorenzo Bernardi making the play of the game. Blocking it, almost picked it back up to a muff snap. See, you see how crucial, how much it causes, it just causes so much anguish when you fumble these balls, because when you do, what happens is there's no longer time for you to punt the ball.
Well, and here's the other, it appears that the only points of this game have been scored, excuse us, we're laughing a little bit over here, have been scored by the special teams unit, both on defense and the offensive side of the ball. So clearly the unsung heroes of the game.
1st down and goal, ball at the 10-yard line. It's going to be a handoff straight up the middle, able to get down to about the 8-yard line for Archibald.
I think I was just so excited right there, guys. I couldn't even find the words to describe what I saw.
I would say that Moorpark definitely needs a touchdown here, but could the excitement be building towards even more of a discombobulated answer from you, Nick?
Only time will tell.
So now on the 2nd down and goal, ball at the 8-yard line, knocking on the door of the end zone for Moorpark College. 3 wide receiver set. Pressure is coming. Throws it away as Viola is going to be hit as he threw the football, setting up a 3rd down and goal with 7:10 left in the 3rd quarter.
Tony Williams right there laid a nice little hit.
And it seemed like the coverage was pretty tight into the end zone. That's what Viola needed to do on the last series. Better decision making as he threw that ball.
So now with the 3rd down and goal at the 8-yard line, stacked receivers in tres formation on the near side, on the right side of the formation. Now Viola dropping back to pass. Has nowhere to go, and he is going to be sacked.
Great job of Saddleback defense coming around and stopping Viola before he was able to get out of that pocket, or for that matter, before he had time to even throw. They've been stopping them so many times tonight on these 3rd downs. That's one reason why Moorpark's been so unsuccessful with scoring.
And it looks as if it's a more textbook decision to go for a field goal here.
Absolutely, yeah. At this point, they just need to get some points. If they're able to get out of this quarter with only a 14-point difference in the score, that would be huge for Moorpark.
So Moorpark College with Riley Garrett, number 99, lining up. It's going to be a 37-yard field goal kick. About 6:20 left in the third quarter, and the play clock ran all the way down to 0, so it's going to be a delay of game, and we're going to see Riley Garrett's leg power by this kick is going to be a 42-yarder if they choose to attempt it now.
And that nearly happened earlier in the game for Moorpark on that bad snap that forced the end of a drive as the play clock wound down.
So now with the 42-yard field goal attempt for Riley Garrett. Pressure is coming, the kick is deep, but it is no good. A little bit wide left, maybe not have the power as well, as the score still stands 24-3, Saddleback in the lead.
And 5 yards makes a big difference in a game like this, and that is, if Riley had those 5 yards, I assume it would have crossed the uprights, but it seemed to be a little short, as you said, and a little wide left. 24-3 still the score here.
And with just about 6 minutes left, 6:18 to be exact, Saddleback College with a 21-point lead in the football as well. The football is going to be placed at the 25-yard line. Basically, that missed field goal is a touchback for them. 4 wide receivers, balanced on both sides of the field with 2 on each. A man in motion is going to be a handoff. Going off of the left tackle, a spin move, and is going to be caught by the Raiders, but not before he gains 4.
Jerome Johnson, once again with the ball, been so elusive tonight, picking up another nice chunk of about 4 to 5 yards. One thing that Moorpark needs to do is they need to keep their outside contained. Right there, luckily they're able to swarm back around before he could really bounce it out. But when you aren't consistent with the outside contained, these running backs, someone like Johnson can just take it to the outside and take it for 6.
So now with the 2nd down and 6, ball at the 29-yard line. The pass is going to be completed on the far side to Barry, about 2 yards shy of the first down marker.
And with 3rd and short coming up, it gives Saddleback options because you can go with a play action, you can go with an RPO, you can just run it straight up the middle. There's multiple plays Saddleback can use at their disposal right now.
So now a 3rd down and 1 coming up for Saddleback Gauchos. They're going to change some personnel on the field, and it looks like they're going to be calling a timeout as well. So we do have this break in the action. It's a 24-3 lead here for the Saddleback Gauchos with 5:12 left in the 3rd quarter. But there's actually not going to be a timeout on the field. It seemed like a little miscommunication. It did look like they were going for substitutions, but both teams were kind of marching off the field. But it seems like everything is all dandy right now with 20 seconds left on the play clock. Handoff to the far side. He's able to get some room in front of him and get another big time first down for the Gauchos.
Ivory Jackson laid a lick on him though, didn't he? Right there. He did pick up the first down. Ivory Jackson laid a pop.
And as time ticks away here, I'm interested to see if Saddleback continues to run the ball.
And it seems like they are going to continue to run the ball with a quarterback keeper for Patterson. Patterson loses 1 off of the 1st down and 10 from the 45, setting up a 2nd and 11 from the 44-yard line, their own 44-yard line.
A little bit of miscommunication right there. You know, looking for the handoff to the left side. He was actually on the right, or vice versa, I should say. And right there, that's causing him for a loss of 1.
Was that a design play? Was
no, that definitely
busted?
Looked like a busted play. He thought his running back was on the left side and he was on the right.
And Patterson, that's basically the only thing that he could do since it was a run play. He couldn't pass it to anybody because nobody would have been open. They're just blocking. As a swing pass concept, just breaking it up there. The Raiders, Landon Alatorre, was able to sniff it out and get the tackle for loss.
It's like they saw that telepathically. You saw it coming, and all of a sudden, Moorpark was able to swarm on the sidelines. That we spoke about their speed off the edge, and they're able to get that tackle for a loss. Big 3rd down coming up right here.
In this drive alone, Moorpark's defense has been laying some serious hits on the Saddleback Gauchos.
It's going to be a 3rd down and 15, ball on their own 40-yard line for the Gauchos. Dropping back to pass. Pressure is coming from Mathis. Has to let it fly as Patterson has a wide open receiver downfield. That is their man. Going in for the end zone. Touchdown Gauchos to Barry.
Their #1 receiver coming up big again on a vertical route. I did think I saw a holding that was not called, so a good pass there by Saddleback. No need for the lucky break with a flag.
I think there was a miscommunication on the defense, too. He was wide open, or he might have just beat him to the edge. I wasn't able to see that, but of course, who else is Patterson going to go to?
That was a 60-yard passing touchdown from Patterson to Barry, as he basically launched that one 50-plus yards down the field. As now going for the extra point PAT attempt is a 30-3 lead prior to it for the Gauchos. PAT is up and it's good. The Saddleback Gauchos now have a 31-3 lead over the Moorpark Raiders with just above 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter of play. So far in this second half, the Moorpark Raiders started off strong with 3 first downs on their first drive, but then Violi threw an interception. Then on the second drive, they had no first downs, but they did have a field goal kick by Riley Garrett that missed wide left on a 42-yarder, and now we're able to see their third drive of the second half. And for Saddleback, the first drive of the second half was a first down, and then they had to punt the football. And when they punted the football, it was actually blocked by Lorenzo Bernardi and picked up by the Raiders with good field position. Then on the second drive, which we just saw, a 60-yard passing touchdown from Patterson to his main man, Barry, to be able to make the score 31-3 in favor of the Gauchos. Michael Brown back to receive the kickoff on the far side with Vinny Corso on the near side on the right hash mark. Brown's going to recover it at his own 10-yard line. And it's actually going to be fumbled. Gauchos trying to get over it. It's one of those skirmishes that you see on SportsCenter when everybody's trying to dive on it and nobody can actually get it.
Looks like he never fully maintained control of the ball.
And it looks like the referees did point towards the Gauchos. So a big change of events, a big turn in events. Saddleback is going to have the football.
And the momentum is just flowing right now on this sideline for the Saddleback Gauchos. They're unable to hold on to that ball right there. They're coming up with great field position. They're going to start with the ball going in from the 17-yard line. So they are knocking at the door once again.
Folks, if you're interested in another score, Oregon is currently beating Stanford 24-21 in the third quarter on the Division I college football ranks, as we have sort of a blowout here with 3:25 to go. Just thought give you an update on that score right now.
It's now going to be a first down and 10 for the Gauchos. Ball's going to be placed at the 17-yard line. 3:25 left in the third quarter, a 31-3 lead here for Saddleback.
So I would think they're going to run the football, not only for the rest of this quarter, but probably for the rest of the game, being up 28.
I still look for them to throw it just because it's the third quarter.
As now Patterson dropped back to pass, he will throw the football deep in the back of the end zone to the near side, and he was throwing it in the back of the end zone, but his receiver was not there, so it's going to be incomplete.
And Nick, you know all. That is absolutely correct. They will be obviously throwing. Maybe they want to put some more points on the board. I don't want to say embarrass Moorpark, because that might be the wrong word to use, but definitely to continue to keep the momentum on their side and get some reps in.
Absolutely. Just, at this, there is still some time left in the game. We are only in the third quarter, but yeah, at this point, they definitely don't want to just stop and go to the whole 4-minute offense. I think they're going to keep playing full speed. Now, as they should. Definitely, you should never just go easy on your opponent just because you're up.
Second down and 10 there. It was a run to the outside. Stepped out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. It seems to be about a loss of 1 on the play. So with about 2:50 left in the third quarter, still a 31-3 lead here for the Gauchos.
I'm interested to see if they run it and just take the points. No, it looks like they're throwing.
It's going to be about a third down and 11, a quick swing pass concept. He did touch his knee on the ground after DJ Turner tackled him, so it's going to be another loss of yards, bringing up a long fourth down.
Even though they fumbled it earlier on that kickoff, you never know. Maybe it wasn't for something, I should say, instead of for nothing, because if they miss his field goal, they block it, then Moorpark's in the same situation, and they can build from there.
It's an interesting field goal. It seems to be not horrible yardage, but tough enough to make it interesting.
That's going to be a 40-yard field goal attempt from the 30-yard line. 10 seconds left on the play clock. The kick is up, and this guy has a big leg, and he's still kicked that about 20 yards deeper, as the kick is going to be good, and the Gauchos now have a 34-3 lead, a 31-point lead over the Moorpark Raiders, still with 2 minutes left in the third quarter.
I'm still trying to realize that we have another quarter to play at this point in time. 34-3. Look for Moorpark's offense to just try and get some rhythm with Viola at quarterback. We certainly will not and still do not know how long Polster will be out, and it's going to be very important to try and find not only the identity of an offense, but to find the best scenarios for the quarterback going forward, for Viola going forward, his skill set as the season goes on.
Exactly. No matter which quarterback you have starting, you want to develop that quarterback, because obviously this isn't the end run for anybody that plays JUCO. Sometimes they just want to play for fun, but most of these guys are trying to get to a Division I program. And if you are backup 1 year, you could be started the next year, especially with both guys being freshmen. So if you don't get that opportunity, but the quarterback over you gets picked up by a Division I team, then you have to be ready to go for the next season. So hopefully Moorpark and also Saddleback as well will be able to develop those athletes. The kickoff, a little bit short, is going to be recovered by Vinny Corso off of the left hash mark. Able to get past the 30-yard line, showing his speed, knocked out of bounds right around the 35, and it's going to be good field position for the Raiders.
Vinny Corso, it seems no matter what the score is, he's always, he's always driven. He's never down. Even though they're down by 31, he's still able to pick this ball up, run like they're scoring the game-winning touchdown right there. He's able to pick up a nice chunk of yards. Great job.
And going on back to that quarterback point, it's interesting because, one, it gives Viola more reps, but we don't want to say that an injury is ever a good way to solve a quarterback competition. But it now gives a clearer picture for Moorpark going forward.
Yeah, alluding to if Polsler is going to be knocked out of this game and the games in the future. Hopefully he's okay and be able to be brought back this season. But it's going to be a 1st down and 10 for the Raiders. Ball on their own 32-yard line. Viola in shotgun formation. Pass going to be thrown to the far side, able to get it above the defensive end's hands as he jumped to try to block that throw. It's going to be close to a 1st down marker, about 4-yard shy.
And Brandon Archibald checking back in here. Look for another swing pass or some sort of design play to get him the ball in open space, especially with his trips towards the far wide side of the field.
So now on the 2nd down and 4, about 1.5 minutes left in the third quarter. It's going to be passed deep down the field, and wow, Viola has an arm.
I saw a lot
as Ryan
of contact.
Matlock was on the near side, could not get to the football. There is a penalty flag thrown down on the field, however.
And that's basically going to take the ball all the way down to the 20-yard line.
I saw a lot of contact, a lot of hook in there, and finally, I think Moorpark has been looking for flags all night. They get one there.
So obviously with that pass interference call, it's going to be against the defense. So they're going to be marching towards the 50-yard line. They're actually going to be past the 50. They're saying he's holding against the defense. So it's going to be 1st down and 10 for the Moorpark Raiders in enemy territory. Ball on the 47-yard line.
And we'll see if they can score at the end of the quarter here. Obviously, they still have possession going into the 4th, but we'll see if they can get at least into field goal range, if not try and score before the end of this quarter.
Just under 120 left in the third quarter, 34-3. Raiders down by 31 right now with the football. Same formation that we saw last play with trips on the right side of the formation on the near side. Single back set as Archibald's back there. With Viola in the shotgun formation, it's going to be a fake handoff. Quarterback's going to keep it, and he's just going to put his helmet down, dive forward, get about 1 on the carry.
Design quarterback run there, but nothing really doing. Covered well by Saddleback.
So it's now setting up a 2nd down and 9 for Moorpark. Ball is going to be placed at the 49-yard line on their side of the field. Dropping back to pass, looking for near side. Alex Sardi is there. It's going to be caught. A little bit of a late hit. No flag is going to be thrown, however.
And these are the types of calls that, and in certain scenarios, Moorpark has had issue with. Those borderline, did he get out of bounds, and then the late hit was tacked on, or no flag thrown. Terrific catch as he was able to juggle it. It looked like he was losing control and was able to come down inbounds.
So he was able to get the reception. Obviously with a 3rd down and 5 now coming up on the 47 on the far side of the field, as Matlock was almost able to catch the football, but he's going to be brought down by the corner and is going to be incomplete, bringing up a 4th down and 5.
And Corey Cinino right there coming up with a nice play, knocking it out before Ryan Matlock was able to come down with that ball.
Obviously you go for it here. It appears going over a play on the sideline possibly.
Yes, on that 4th down and 5, they are going to stay on the field. Don't be surprised if they're trying to get the defense offside and maybe not line up right now with only 8 seconds left on the play clock and counting. They are going to go for it, however. Defensive pressure is there. Viola getting outside of the pocket, rushes forward, close to the 1st down marker. That time, that was a late hit. Penalty flags are thrown. Saddleback Gauchos are on the sideline, roughing up with the Raiders. Hopefully this gets settled quick, as the referees are going to have to get involved pretty quickly.
And I think it also, it does not just have to do with the play that has just been made. The frustrations of Moorpark during this game may have boiled over right there, which means that late hit might have just canceled out and they have to replay the game. I'm not quite sure.
One thing that I wasn't happy about, I mean, both teams, you're going to see emotions going, but from Saddleback, 2 hits right there were pretty late hits, and then with the coverage throwing down the wide receiver to the ground. I mean, you're up by 31. You don't have to try. Yeah, you don't have to try to do that. I mean, at least what I've seen, Saddleback 3 straight plays, kind of taking some cheap shots, and finally they're getting, you know, a little extra activity after.
As you say that, Ryan, it seems as if it was just building, waiting to happen. You have those types of tick-for-tack calls. The sideline officials and extra personnel trying to get this sorted out. Yeah, it seems like just the frustration of the entire game mixed with that creates a volatile scenario here.
And you also got to keep in mind, too, if Viola goes down, they don't have anybody else. I mean, we saw Vinny last year play a little bit of quarterback, but that was towards the very end of the game. Right now, they got a whole nother quarter to play, so if Viola is hurt, I don't know what they're going to do for a whole another 15 minutes.
It appears that he's okay. I don't see anything that suggests that he is hurt.
He was grabbing his knee a little bit.
He was grabbing his knee.
And the trainers are talking to him too. But yeah, right now, you don't want to do anything stupid. You got a whole another quarter to play, but there's for the rest of this game, definitely look to see a lot more of a competitive edge.
I do have to give a lot of credit to the referees, because, I mean, this situation would be very difficult to be able to judge. Obviously, it's going to be a late hit, but of everything that happened after the play, trying to assess those penalties, maybe even ejections, and there's actually going to be 2 penalties. It's going to be a personal foul against the defense, against Saddleback, and they're going to be calling
unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Moorpark. It is going to be a 1st down for Moorpark College, but that's one thing that is difficult to judge, especially when you're on the sideline out here and all the extra activity going along. Trying to judge who the penalties are against, very difficult to do.
And for those of you who don't, you guys can't see what we can see here. A lot of the fans here are standing up. They are not thrilled right now. And what we have to remember is that many of these fans that are here, their sons are their children, and they are on the field right now playing. So the passion of these fans comes from a personal perspective of protection and hoping that their kids are not only okay, but are given a fair shot to compete here today. Yeah,
tensions are definitely rising here on this Moorpark sideline from not only the fans, but from the players as well. I don't know what unsportsmanlike conduct was. I couldn't hear the number the mic gave out on the referee right there, but someone for the Moorpark sideline, or on the Moorpark football team, apparently was doing unsportsmanlike conduct. I think it's very strange with all the stuff that Saddleback has been.
And tensions really throughout this entire stadium are boiling over right now. things really need to be settled down, and in both scenarios, both on the field and in the stands, some calming things need to be going on right now to resolve the situation and get this game back in order.
Yeah, and we see right there the entire Saddleback team is talking to their head coach over there. I think what he's trying to do is tell them to, stay calm. They're already up by a large amount. There's nothing that Saddleback can do at this point that can hurt them other than have them get themselves ejected from this game. They just need to finish out the game at this point.
Can suspensions be handed out in cases such as
yes,
this?
exactly. So I think that's what he's talking about with his players right now. That, hey,
correct.
You're up by a great amount. Just play with your head on your shoulders and get out of this game without doing anything unnecessary.
For the next game ahead for both squads. Really.
Exactly.
And exactly that is true. Ejections from this game and further suspensions can be enforced if they seem fit from the referee's standpoint, if they want to give that out. Also from the coach's standpoint, if they give them out to their athletes as well, that could be enforced. But right now, Moorpark Raiders, at least from that position, they were able to get the first down with Bryce Viola. One thing to be able to recognize right now on the field, number 15 is out on the field right now. Tommy Silva, he's a quarterback in. I do not see Bryce Viola out there, so he is actually right now. Tommy Silva is out on the field. Maybe Bryce is just not out there right now, but Tommy Silva is having his helmet on and with the team.
I assume a freshman, considering most of the starters on this team are sophomores.
Yeah, we did not see Tommy Silva last year. He was not part of the Moorpark Raider football team.
Yes.
And yeah, this is unfortunate, but I'm basically very proud and feel good about the fact that both teams have composed themselves. Moorpark seems to be pretty subdued right now. Coaching staff talking to the referees still, and it seems like things are getting back in order. Moorpark seems to be very, very calm at this point.
One thing that I do want to give credit, obviously, as you mentioned, Moorpark Raiders calming down their sideline, but also the coach, Mark McElroy of Saddleback. He actually had his team kneel down. I'm not sure, obviously, what he mentioned to the team, but at least it did seem like he got their attention back. And if anything did happen on the sideline over there on their sideline, they were able to resolve it, at least from the looks of it right now.
And let's give credit to the referees as well for stepping in when they did and doing what they had to do to control the situation.
Absolutely. I think it was a great job on both ends, head coaches and the referees, by controlling the situation before it got unnecessary.
But now, at least what it looks like, it will be a first down and 10 for the Moorpark Raiders. Prior to when they enforced the penalties.
Okay.
Actually, since they didn't enforce the penalties, they were offset. So it will still be first down and 10 for Moorpark at the 41-yard line with 7 seconds left in the third quarter.
So my question is, so after all that, Viola did get the first down, is what we're saying, correct?
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
Because I was so
enthralled.
question,
Yep, that's important.
By the
he was able to, I think also too with the penalty, it also gave them the reassurance that no matter where he was spotted out of bounds, they were going to get the first.
So they're still trying to figure out everything. It should just be at the 41-yard line, though, since it was offset penalties and it was Moorpark football, and they got the first down. I think they're just trying to make sure everybody's, okay, and tempers don't fly too much. And
could they be checking the clock as well?
Possibly even the clock, too, just making sure everything's all right. They haven't mentioned back to the clock just yet, so it's now going to be 7 seconds left and counting. I don't think they're going to be able to get the snap off, but they just got the snap off barely. It's going to be a handoff to Archibald. Archibald on the near side. He's going to be tackled out of bounds, a clean tackle out of bounds, if I may say so myself, with everything that has gone on.
It looks to be an injured player, number 74. I think that's the center we were talking about earlier, having troubles with the snaps.
Yeah,
for the Moorpark
Trevor
Raiders.
Martins.
Trevor Martins, thank you, right there, coming out of his shoulder. Might have popped it out of socket. So now you're in a whole nother situation here. You're not sure of your quarterback. You have Neole and Corso both out with potential injuries. And then you just had your center come out, Martins. So it looks like the Moorpark Raiders are going to be faced with an entirely new offense.
Even in a game with a score such as this, it keeps getting more and more interesting as we go along. Now I'm wondering, how badly, if at all, is Viola hurt, or are they just taking precautions? And moving forward, who will the quarterback be? Because the 2 QB system kind of has been thrown out the window at this point, and you have a completely unknown freshman in there who really nobody to this point has heard of much, trying to man the offense and keep things moving here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that was one struggle for Moorpark, as all of their quarterbacks are coming in as freshmen. They're all new, but they haven't seen any time. So Tommy Silva out here, he's getting his first reps, number 15. You're going to be able to see him. He's lined up in the shotgun formation for Moorpark on a 2nd down and 4. 2nd down and 4, ball at the 25-yard line. We are going to have a false start.
Number 70 there, Brian Woodward, the big man, 6'6", 295, actually movement right there.
And if there is a saving grace, going back to that quarterback scenario, with a score such as this, it kind of doesn't put all that much pressure on him, and he can just go through his progressions quite nicely and not to worry about things.
Absolutely.
So now coming out is going to be a 2nd down and 9. Passes thrown is going to be incomplete just behind Ryan Matlock as a 3rd and 9 is coming up.
On this 3rd down, you know, this is very compelling now because I really want to see what this freshman is able to do and how he's able to work with this offense and his strengths and weaknesses. So even with a game such as this, it's still compelling and interesting to watch and see him gel with these receivers.
So now with the 3rd down and 9, just a few seconds taken off of the game clock, as they are going to have another false start penalty, it should be. And it will be a false start against the offense, another penalty flag. So bringing them back 5 yards is going to be a 3rd down and 14, ball at the 45-yard line.
And it could be that the offense is just not used to the quarterback's cadence or timing or voice in terms of snap. That could be what's causing multiple penalties on this drive.
That's a good point.
So now with that 3rd and 14, trips on the near side of the left side of the formation. Interesting what this Silva quarterback, Tommy Silva, can do. Archibald going on a swing pass concept, throwing it down the middle of the field, and is going to be intercepted. Right there, it's going to be intercepted by the Gauchos. They're going to be having the football right around the 30-yard line. It looks to be brought down to the 29. A little extra contact after the tackle, but it seems like they're able to minimize the contact. They will throw a penalty flag, however.
And I think that just comes in response to the chippiness we saw earlier on the sidelines. They want to clean this mess up and make sure no other unsportsmanlike or roughing penalties come of this, and they're taking precautions here.
There are going to be 2 penalties. There's going to be a personal foul against the defense, and it's also going to be a personal foul against the offense, so it should be just offset penalty. So it will be a 1st down for Saddleback off of the interception.
And on that pass, it seemed like either the route ran the wrong way, or it was a miscommunication, or just overthrown. One of those 3 options to me would have been the reason for that interception.
Yeah, it didn't look like there was anybody in the vicinity when he threw that ball up there.
So now Saddleback coming back. They're actually going to have the ball placed at the 30-yard line. 4 wide receivers. Patterson still in the game. Is going to be a handoff straight to the middle, able to get a head of steam and get a 1st down off an 11-yard run.
Patterson has had a great day. The running back, I believe,
Jonathan Jefferson.
Jefferson also has had a great game.
So now off of another 1st down and 10, Jefferson just piling forward once again. 14-yard gain on the play. They're actually going to make a 15-yard gain at the 44-yard line inside enemy territory.
And at this point, it's about tick-tock, tick-tock. Let the time go off the clock. It rhymes. Anyway.
But another 1st down, and they're going to run it once again. Moorpark able to catch Jefferson, however, this time.
Yes, they just need to run the clock out at this point, especially you want to get out of here without any sort of, commotion or unnecessary late hits and ejections that can follow. you're up by so much right now. Saddleback just pretty much needs to run the ball until the game's over.
And it seems like they are going to run the ball until the game's over with just about 13.5 minutes left. They are actually going to pass it right when I said run, as Barry is able to get the reception. He's going to be down about a yard shy of the first down marker, but they're actually going to call him with the first down. They were just trying to place it, and now they're going to have a first down from the 34-yard line.
And I am confused as to why Patterson is still in this game. With a 34-3 lead in the fourth quarter, you would think a backup to save the energy would be put in.
It is an interesting decision, but on the first down and 10, Jefferson is there once again. He's going to be stopped for about a gain of 3 on the play.
At this point, it's hate to say these words, but it's true. Mop-up duty is kind of on the horizon. You look to see for backups on the defense as well, not only on the offense. Get guys who normally wouldn't have playing time reps.
And it does look like you would do that in this situation, as Moorpark defense is right there. That's the big man. That's Valawaga with the sack.
A name we haven't said, I'm not sure at all tonight. Coming in at the very end, getting the sack. A bright spot for this Moorpark team today has been their defense. Multiple sacks, multiple rushes on the quarterback today.
Absolutely. It's good to see some light when this game is starting to darken out a little bit here. Good to see the defense is still fighting.
And now on that third down and long, 3rd and 14, it's going to be incomplete, as now a 4th down and 14 is coming up for the Gauchos.
And they'll probably punt here.
And they are going to be bringing out their punting unit, it looks like, with a 4th and 14. Obvious punting situation for the Gauchos.
I'd like to see Moorpark put up some points, too, before this game is all said and done, showing that they have some life and they're going into next week with some momentum, unable to come away with any points since the first drive of the game. And I know things aren't really going their way here, but they got to put some points up on the board.
And their offense.
Here comes the punt. Kyle Peterson is back to receive it. It's going to be taking a little bit of a Gaucho bounce all the way outside, out around the 13-yard line. That's where the Raiders will have possession.
And I was going to say, the only points that have come on the board have not even come from the offense. They've come from the special teams today off of a turnover on, was it the first possession or early?
It was the first possession, yep.
Yeah, in the first half. So really, the offense has done nothing today, as we've seen, and they've struggled throughout the course of this season. So the special teams have been a bright spot. The punting has been great. The defense has been, despite the fact they've given up 34, I think that's a bit misleading today, considering the situations they've been put in.
The score is 34-3. Just under 12 minutes left in this game, as Moorpark is down by 31 points. 2 receivers spread out to the right side of the formation. It's going to be a handoff straight up the middle. He's going to be brought down for a loss of yards on the play. That's Creation on the carry.
And the run game hasn't really been there. We've seen spots tonight, but not enough to establish a solid day on the ground.
One thing that we did mention earlier on when Ethan Pulser went out with the injury is that it gives time for every quarterback to be able to get healthy and get reps. That's the one thing that you want to do. Get reps for every single player, because they usually want to go to that D1 level. Tommy Silva, take advantage of this moment. Get some reps. Try to get this team to be able to recognize that you are a solid quarterback to maybe move into the rotation, as he is going to be brought down with the sack as the pressure comes off of the 2nd down and 11.
A couple of new faces we haven't seen too much tonight. Number 23 for the Moorpark Raiders. Kenneth Stewart in there today, freshman, coming out. So it does look like we're getting some more of a the Moorpark Raiders are getting more of a rotation with their newer guys. And that's exactly what you should do at this point in the game.
As now is going to set up a long 3rd down, a 3rd down and 14. Ball placed at their own 10-yard line, deep inside their own red zone right now, with just above 10.5 minutes left in the game. 34-3 lead for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders. Silva with a pass attempt. Pressure is coming, and he fumbles the football. He does have the football in his hands, and he kind of just fumbles it back. That might have been a smart play to be able to at least save your team from giving 2 more points, but not ideal as they're going to be stopped at the 4-yard line.
I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This game has turned in such a way that I could not have seen coming.
Yeah, I think it all started when Ethan Polster, went out towards the end of that second quarter. It looked like a little part of them died. Now, they did have a couple of nice drives when Viole started out the third quarter, but this team hasn't been able to recuperate since then.
There is a penalty flag down. It's going to be intentional grounding against the offense. That is one thing that I was wondering, because he was trying to, it almost looked like he was trying to fumble it again, but he tossed it forward. He tossed the football forward, which would have been a forward pass. So that's why intentional grounding was thrown into the mix with that penalty. So it is going to back them up a little bit. Interesting to see where they spot the football.
And is it because there was no receiver in the area?
That's probably going to be the reason. No receiver in the area. Also, he technically was still in the pocket because he fumbled the football, and then he picked it up, and he was still technically in the pocket as well with no receiver around. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against Saddleback Gauchos after the play, so it is going to be 15 yards. March and Moorpark, at least outside of their own end zone, now placed at the 15-yard line for at the 16-yard line. It's kind of in between, but it's going to be a 4th down and 8.
Isn't it supposed to be an automatic first down? That's usually what I see when I'm getting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, but I digress.
And now here comes the punt. A big booming punt from Steven Gomez once again inside the 40-yard line. Good protection by Moorpark, able to bring him down inside their own 40. That's Landon Alatorre.
Landon Alatorre coming up with a couple of big key tackles tonight, and there's one of them right there.
And Gomez has been the probably biggest bright spot today for Moorpark. The punts today have been booming. They've been very good on the yardage and pinning Saddleback back as far as they can go, not only on this drive, but for most part during this day.
And first time that I've actually noticed this, Ethan Polster has all of his pads off. He's in a jacket now down by the 30-yard line towards our side, towards the Raider Moorpark side here, Moorpark Raider sideline, pardon me, next to some of the trainers. So he's definitely done for tonight.
Getting a good
very
ice
curious, about what is going to happen next week, though.
1st down and 10. Throwing it to the near side. Pass is going to be completed. We do have a new quarterback in for the Saddleback Gauchos. They're not going with their main guy, Patterson. Good thing that they're sitting him down, however, especially with this lead. They're going with Kevin Brown right now off of the 1st and 10 from their own 38-yard line, able to get a good amount of yardage on that 1st down pass to set up a 2nd and 4. Now with about 9:15 left in the game, it's going to be a handoff. Actually, it's going to be fake handoff, quarterback keeper. Good job on the option play as he's able to get down for a 1st down with the Gauchos. A new running back in as well is going to be number 5, Jake Cuero. We've only seen him a few times in this game.
The Gauchos have been clicking on all cylinders today, despite those unsportsmanlike conducts you saw later in this game. The staff should be very thrilled about what they've seen today moving forward. Great confidence booster for this team.
And now setting up with the 1st down and 10 for the Gauchos. It's going to be a pass to the outside on the near side to Cuero. And Cuero, it's going to be incomplete, setting up the 2nd and 10.
I think there's a lot that you can learn from tonight as a Moorpark Raider here. I think one thing that they definitely have is heart. They definitely play their tails off, and they're constantly physical, and that's something that is awesome. It's amazing. You can't teach it, and it's great to work with as a coaching staff, but there's so many areas that they do need to find rhythm to and improve on, especially with their offense.
And it starts with communication.
And now on the 2nd down and 10, ball's going to be placed at their own 49-yard line for the Gauchos. It's going to be a fake handoff. Quarterback passes it to the far sideline. It's going to be a reception. He's going to be brought down about 2 yards shy of the 1st down marker. That's number 82 on the reception for the Gauchos. That's Austin DeRico.
I find myself looking at the rosters a lot more now, given the score here. For those of you who wouldn't know this, in most cases in a blowout like this, it would mean that a lot of backups would be put into the game, which means we, as broadcasters, just to give you an idea, would be looking at the rosters a lot more because you're giving guys playing time you wouldn't normally see. So we're sort of adjusting as the game goes along.
We're learning the roster as the game progresses, right?
So now on that 3rd down and 1, stopped right around the 1st down marker. It depends on the ref's placement of the football. It looks like the football might have passed the 1st down marker, but they are going to call it a 1st down. So great job by Moorpark, able to stop him right around the 1st down marker, but good job by the Gauchos, able to push the football just a little bit forward to be able to get it with just under 7.5 minutes left in the game. 34-3 lead here for Saddleback.
Michael Brown coming up too on a nice play. Unfortunately, wasn't enough to stop the 3rd down, but I like to see the kids still playing hard.
It's going to be a handoff to the man in motion, past the 40-yard line, able to get down to about the 39. And there's actually going to be a penalty flag thrown after the play. That extra contact has been seen throughout this whole entire 4th quarter, if not at the end of the 3rd quarter and on.
And I know
it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the offense, against Saddleback, so it's going to mark them back 15 yards, setting up a long 2nd down.
And I know in games like this, it's hard to keep your composure on either side because you're either excited to win a game or you're frustrated on the fact that you haven't played well and you may be losing. And it'll make things difficult moving forward, but you need to be able to stay composed in games like this.
Absolutely. Just keeping to yourself, focusing on the play at hand. Don't let anything get too big for you or make any stupid mistakes that could cause you to miss the next couple games.
On the long 2nd down is going to be a quarterback keeper. Quarterback's going to take it and get it past the 50-yard line. It's going to be a 5-yard run, setting up a long 3rd down, and that 2nd down was from the 46-yard line.
I don't see them throwing the football here. I see another run. What was easier about on some of the last plays earlier in this possession was the 3rd and short, which gives you opportunities not only to run the ball effectively, but to go into your pass game a little easier as well. On 3rd and long, it's much harder to make those calls as a coordinator.
That was a 2nd down and 23, now setting up a 3rd down and 18 off of the 5-yard run. Dropping back to pass, has nowhere to go, rolling out to the near sideline. Pass is thrown in tight coverage, but able to get the reception for Barry.
Who else, right? Nasir Barry coming up again with another great grab to move the ball within a decent chance of getting the 1st down. 4th and 4 coming up.
It appears they're staying on the field and they're going to go for it. The number 1 receiver, Barry, right there with a big grab to make it 4th and manageable.
And they will go for it. Trips on the left side of the formation on the far sideline. As you see on your screen, at the top of the screen, there's a man in motion. Dropping back to pass, looking for the man in motion on the near side is going to be incomplete, setting up the Moorpark Raiders with the possession off of the turnover on downs from the 4th down and 3.
And you want to end this game, if you're Moorpark, with a score under any circumstances. Field goal, touchdown. They have not had the opportunity all game to celebrate with points.
That's right, Justin. And just come out with some sort of positive aspect that you can build off of for next week. Right now, Moorpark hasn't been too lucky, or I guess you could say too skilled in being able to come up with a score.
It's going to be a swing pass play concept. It was actually thrown behind the running back. Now cutting back to the near sideline. Has some blocking in front of him. Goes forward. I don't see a penalty flag thrown out on the field. He's going down past the 40-yard line inside enemy territory. 1st down, Raiders.
And that was Tawan Funches, pardon me. We haven't seen him in the running back position too much. Busted play that goes for a nice gain of about 40 to 50 yards. Great job by Funches.
Make something out of nothing. that play was probably going to be like a 10-yard loss, and he started reversing field and trying to cut upfield. He tried to turn the corner and was able to get there with a couple of extra blocks.
So now with the big-time first down, Funches was actually part of the team last year. Not a lot of production out of him, but when he gets his chance to shine, he shows you that he can shine. Now on the first down and 10, it is going to be an interception thrown by the new quarterback, Silva. Going forward still, that's number 10, who had the interception on the play. He's still on his feet. That was Rome Innocence.
Boy, this game has had a little bit of everything at this point. Interceptions, big plays, hope. It's one of those things where it's just been
it's been wild.
Penalty flags thrown on the play. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct. They said the defense, but they were pointing towards the Moorpark Raiders, so it's probably the offense. He probably said defense because Saddleback did have the football. But it is going to be against the Moorpark Raiders. And then it's going to be a personal foul. It's going to be a face mask against the Moorpark Raiders as well. So both of those penalties will be enforced, so it's going to go half the distance to the goal, right around from the 30-yard line, and then it's going to be another half of the distance to the goal, so they're probably going to be inside the 10-yard line.
That's what it looks like. 4 minutes to go, and if you're Saddleback, you can't watch this time run off fast enough at this rate.
A lot of mental mistakes. I think the main thing is just finding the quarterback. That's really what they need to do.
So now coming out is going to be a handoff straight at the middle off of the first down and goal from the 6-yard line. Knocking on the door of the end zone right now for the Saddleback Gauchos. One good thing that I like to see right there, I mean, you have a lot of tensions brewing, but the Raiders, there was a person down there that actually picked up one of the Gauchos. So showing that there's still some sort of, respect for both teams, which should be shown in sportsmanship as tempers are flaring.
I will say one concern is that after this game is over, you want both teams to walk off the field with, one, their heads held high, but two, with no bad blood for each other at the very end.
Yeah, that's a lot of the times when you see arguments happen. I remember recovering.
As off of that second down and goal, it's going to be a handoff, a touchdown for the Saddleback Gauchos right there. That was number 46 running in, Chase Bradley.
Yeah, but before that snap was being said, I was talking about last year, Ryan, you and I were covering my first game ever, actually, the Fullerton game, and there was a huge almost skirmish at the very end of the game when they started shaking hands. So that's another thing that's kind of nerve-wracking, especially when everyone's heated. You get to see these people one last time as you shake hands. So everyone just needs to shake their hands and go their separate ways.
And at that point, the refs have no control over it.
Exactly. Only the coaches do. Right.
The PAT attempt is up, and it is good. A 41-3 lead here for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders with just under 3.5 minutes left in the game here at Griffith Stadium, home of the Moorpark Raiders. Once again, this is Ryan Ketchum, play-by-play commentator, Nick Federico, color commentator analyst, and Justin Borsis, color commentator analyst for you this evening here for your coverage of Moorpark College football on the Moorpark Raider live stream.
We got birthday celebrations going on down here with the cheerleaders, something a little bit brighter.
Yeah, it's always good to see that. I mean, we've seen the beach ball being tossed in the stands. It actually hit a cheerleader, and she had to toss it back over the gate. But then we also had a birthday here, as you mentioned, for the Raider Spirit Squad. And it was actually Kelsey Stewart, who is the instructor of the Spirit team, which includes dance and Moorpark Raider cheer. So it's great to see that as well tonight.
Always celebrate your teachers, people. They don't get enough credit for what they do, or quite frankly, in some cases, enough pay. But we'll digress from that. But yes, celebrate your teachers every chance you get.
So now Moorpark Raiders are going to be having the football right now. Once again, they are down big, down by 38 points, 41-3.
Anybody else getting a little tired?
Not tired, but chilly. It's getting kind of cold here tonight.
It's going to be recovered right around the 5-yard line. That's Vinny Corso on the near side running up. He's going to be tackled at about the 25-yard line.
Things are being thrown into the stands right now. I'm not sure what it is. Is it T-shirts?
Yeah, those are T-shirts.
T-shirts. always a little fun, regardless of where you're at in this football game. 3:23 to go.
So now it's going to be a 1st down and 10, ball on their own 26-yard line for the Moorpark Raiders.
As a coach, Mike Stewart, someone who's actually a longtime Raider here, very proud of this organization, and he had a very prolific career here before he went on to USC. I wonder what you say to your players after a game like this. I mean, there was good things that you can take from it, but I always wonder how, as a coach, you prepare yourself mentally for the talk after the game.
And here on the 1st down and 10, ball on their own 26, it's a handoff to Funches. Funches able to get a few on the carry, but as you mentioned, Nick, that would be a tough situation. Maybe that's why I'm up here in the press box and not down for coaching, because that would be difficult to be able to make that decision on, looking for all the positives, because obviously you don't want to just ream them for some. You always want to try to find the positive outlook after the game to be able to focus on in practices.
The only time you would ream them is if there was a benefit to doing so. If chewing them out gets them fired up, then you've done something right. But you don't want to make a negative out of nothing.
Now on the 2nd down, it was a 2nd down and 7, ball at the 29-yard line. Funch is able to get past the 30. He's going to be brought down to the 32 for about a 4-yard gain on the play. But it is interesting to see because Moorpark with a 1-3 record after this game, you need to make sure that you find that sweet spot for the team to be able to come back for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a little bit of fun up here as this game has gone along. A couple of Snapchat videos going on.
That we've seen. Of course, we've just been watching everyone else.
Right.
3rd down and 4, almost intercepted by the defensive end. It looked like the pass might have been behind the quarterback, but obviously it's not going to be a fumble, however. It's just going to be incomplete pass. They're still trying to figure it out, but I don't believe that he's going to be getting the benefit of the doubt there. That's number 7, Sefo Mailongi, that was trying to plead his case for Saddleback. So they are going to say that was a forward pass. It was that swing pass play that route is a little bit hard to throw. Sometimes it does go behind the quarterback, but with only 5 seconds left on the play clock, they're going to have to call a timeout.
Well, obvious punting situation here.
Correction there, however, the play clock was reset. That was just the previous play clock, so it is at 19 seconds right now and counting. But as you mentioned, Justin, obvious punting situation with 2 minutes left in the game, 41-3 lead for Saddleback. Another big booming punt. It's recovered right around his own 30-yard line, brought back, but a big hit by Valawaka actually knocked it looked like that was the mouth guard.
Yeah, Jalen.
Valawaka.
Yeah, he delivered a big hit. Did one of the other Moorpark's players' mouth guard fall out, or his mouth guard?
It almost looked as if he laid a nice hit, but someone laid a huge hit on him as well. Maybe with the impact, yeah.
Okay.
Like a little crackback. It did look like his mouthpiece flew out there.
With about 1:52 to go, look for Moorpark to just, at this point, run the clock out, take a knee.
Or Saddleback, for that matter.
I'm sorry. Yes, correct. See, when a game goes this long, you're bound to get mixed up a little bit here.
A little bit.
So here comes the timeout. While we do have a break in the action, we're going to thank a few more of our sponsors once again. We can't do without our sponsors. We got to thank a few of them once again. Thank you very much for sponsoring the Moorpark College Athletics and the Moorpark Raider live stream. Harley's Simi Bowl is your home for the Moorpark College Raiders Athletics, offering bowling, billiards, arcade, and rock and roll pizza. Full-service sports lounge featuring Raiders happy hour every night from 6 to 10 p.m., except on weekends. Cosmic College Night Bowling is Thursday. All you can bowl for just $8 from 9 p.m. to midnight at Harley Simi Bowl. In-N-Out Burger, freshness you can taste. Moorpark Center for Dentistry, changing the way people feel about going to the dentist every single day. At Moorpark Center for Dentistry, they love supporting our community. DCH Lexus of Oxnard, proudly supporting education and Moorpark College football. Lexus, experience amazing. PennyMac, let us tackle all your mortgage needs at PennyMac, the lender you can call home. International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Southern California light powered for 125 years. IBEW Local Number 47 is a proud supporter of Moorpark College Raiders. DCH Auto Group, delivering customer happiness. And Corner Bakery Cafe, Simi Town Center. Proud to support Moorpark College football for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and catering at the Corner Bakery Cafe. Thank you very much to all of our sponsors. Now we're back with fourth quarter action here on the Moorpark Raider live stream for your coverage of Moorpark College football as they're playing up against Saddleback Gauchos. 41-3 lead for the Gauchos with a handoff on a first down and 10 from their own 33-yard line. It's going to be brought down for a loss of 1 on the play.
Save your timeouts here, Moorpark. I don't think there's any need to call them, of course, with this score. You just look to go on to the next game and figure out what you can adjust moving forward.
That's Jordan Bua with the carry on the play, number 38 for the Gauchos. It seems like they're changing personnel quite frequently right now. Both 1:15 left in the game. Now on the second down and 11. Bringing the ball forward for about a 3-yard gain on the play.
.55 and ticking as these seconds go down.
I think they're only going to need one more play right here, and then they'll be able to take the knee or let the clock expire.
Well, if they take the knee, it would mean Moorpark would get the ball back, correct? Like, because if they don't get the first down.
I just mean, well, for third down, because they'll have one more down.
Right,
So if they took the knee right here, which they're going to do, they'll just run the clock out.
Yeah, exactly. Just make the play clock go down as there's only 5 seconds left. 29 seconds left and counting in this game, and it seems to be that this game is over. The Moorpark Raiders will fall to a 1-3 record, and they still have not found their first victory at home yet. 0-3 at home, 1-0 on the road, as the Saddleback Gauchos now improve to a 2-2 overall record, finding their first road game of the season. Interesting to see if there's going to be any post-game scuffles, but it seems like they are not going to be shaking hands after the game. One thing that I did see, however, Vance Manicus, the athletic director for Moorpark College, actually was speaking to the coaching staff and speaking to the trainers, as well as Moorpark College trainers and coaching staff were talking to the Gauchos, and they actually, at least it seems like they were able to come up with a good way to be able to avoid the contact, and both of them were able to keep their tempers, you know, on lock. So great job by Vance and company, and great job by the Gauchos coaching staff to be able to make sure that they do not have any extra contact after the game.
As Moorpark is walking off the field there, in my opinion, they may be having trouble trying to stay away from that sideline a little bit. Some staring down going, but
yeah, tempers flaring, of course. Everyone's Saddlebacks being a little bit showboatish, but smart move by both teams to just go to separate sides.
But as we do have this game ending, it's a 41-3 victory for the Saddleback Gauchos. We're going to get your guys' last thoughts on this game, starting with Nick. What are your last thoughts of this game? As we mentioned, Coach Stewart, the message that he's going to have after the game, what can you say about Moorpark? What can you say that they could build on, or what can you say that they should have fixed during this contest?
Well, I think hands down, Saddleback has been their hardest opponent that they've played this far. With that being said, there's still no excuse for the miscommunications and whatnot that have come from this game. Now, they need to figure out the quarterback situation. I said that a lot, and I don't want to be too repetitive. We do hope that Ethan Polster's all right. Same with Bryce Viola, for that matter. But they just need to come together as a team. At this point, you need to figure out as a team what can you do to be better as a player. Just worry about you, and if everyone does their job, then you can be so much better than they are right now. They're not playing as a team, so those are my final thoughts.
I mean, Nick, it's okay to be repetitive in this case because that is their biggest issue. Quarterback is the reason that, one, Moorpark is not able to get points on the board, but two, that their defense hasn't been able to get enough rest on multiple series this year. So QB, that is all I got to say. QB is what they need to work on, even with guys hurt right now.
One thing that I do have to say that it was a good spot if you are going to be able to pick out a positive. In practice, I was able to go to practice this week, and one of the main points of focus in practice was to not be frantic. And one of the main points was that Coach Stewart was putting the play clock at 25 seconds, which usually it will reset to 40 seconds. So he was making, the play clock go down 15 seconds, and he was telling his quarterback to be able to make the right situation. So he was trying to show him that even with 25 seconds, you have enough time to be able to make a decision. So imagine how much time you'll have with 40 seconds. What I saw out here, including with Ethan Postler and a little bit of Bryce Viola, it seemed like he wasn't as frantic. Both the quarterbacks were not as frantic as they were in previous games. Obviously, not saying it was great quarterback play, because if you did watch the game, it was not. But it seemed like they were less frantic. Bryce, he had a few first downs in this game, was marching down the field. When Ethan was in, a few first downs in this game, marching down the field. It seems at least they focused on the frantic side of it, which was an upside.
Well, and there's a difference between frantic and controlled pace, which I think is what the coach was trying to go for with a shortened play clock, is keep the pace fast but keep it under control.
Yes, and also with that play clock coming down, one of the main points that Coach Stewart was saying in practice, that with that, what he saw out of Bryce is that when the play clock was winding down, he didn't want to get that delay of game penalty. Those quarterbacks didn't, so they were just snapping the football, and they were already frantic by the start because of that low play clock. So then when they got the football, they didn't know exactly what to do with it. So hopefully that will change in the future. A few stats we have for the team: Bryce Viola, he has 2 interceptions on the game, as Tommy Silva, when he came in, threw 2 interceptions. But Ethan Postler was the quarterback that had the most production in this game before the injury, 11 for 20 passing with 98 passing yards in the contest. But that's going to do it here. A 41-3 victory for the Saddleback Gauchos over the Moorpark Raiders. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in to your coverage of Moorpark College football here on the Moorpark Raider live stream. Make sure that you stay tuned with us. Watch our previous games as well if you missed any of the first 3 contests, but also tune in to our games coming up, as Moorpark Raiders are going to be taking on the El Camino Warriors at El Camino next weekend. So make sure that you stay tuned with us for all that action. But for everybody in our production team, thank you very much for helping us out. We cannot do it without you, doing all the graphics, doing all the camera work, technical director, everything that they do back there. We appreciate you guys, with also the production manager, Michael Grimes, as well. Thank you very much for everything that you do with us. For the football equipment people as well, with Tommy and Vance, keeping everybody up to date and be able to keep their emotions straight on the field, including the coaching staff. Thank you for doing that as well. But for Justin Borsis and for Nick Federico, my name is Ryan Ketchum, wishing you a good evening, and make sure that you stay tuned with us here on the Moorpark Raider live stream.